Hello, everybody. Donovan and I were just wah, 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 and I was like, oh, it's time to go live. So our apologies for that. But anyway, I am Demetra K, and I am sitting here with Donovan, a recovering Democrat Sadiq, also known as the Black Yule Brenner. And it is the Demetra K Show. Sunday, we are live, where we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we are great people and we can always strive to do better. Like to say a big giant thank you and welcome to YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Not only are you just viewers, we consider you family. And we often share the link so you can click it and give us your opinion. Of course, if I've never seen you on here before, all I ask is that you show me your face before I bring you up to the big screen, so I can verify that there's no shenanigans going on, because sometimes people like to do that. And, I don't like to see it. Nevertheless, also, if you don't have anything pertinent to add to this conversation, please do not click this link, because we like to hear from people who do. Right now, you have, so I'm going to just leave it at that. All right. But anyway, we are going to be talking about Cassie and Diddy. Okay. Now, if you lived under a rock, I will do my best to explain it to you. I just felt like we should talk about it because everybody's talking about it, and I'm sure it was going to come up. So why not? And there's a lot of things that can be learned, I think, maybe from what we know of this case. Yeah. So let's see who's here before I give it to Donovan. Tracy, how you doing? Tawana, Monet, what's going on with you? Nasaj, how are you? Michael, what's going on with you? Brother Don, Dia, how are you? And Patty. All right, Donovan, what's going on with you, brother?
Well, it is 3 o'clock. Well, 3:05 as we started, and that means it is the Demetra K Show. You guys, welcome to the show. Thank you guys for tuning in. It is Sunday, which means I know you guys could be watching football and all that other good stuff, but you decided to spend it with us, and we truly do appreciate that because we try to do conversations that are pertinent. Look it up. Pertinent to the Black community. So do us a favor, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Also, you guys, for us to have even better conversations, we are pushing the African Diaspora News app, channel app, and you can get it on Apple Store and Google Play. Download it, join it, become a member, and that way we can talk and say and do the things that we need to do. Also, the good thing about the app is you still get great content from Phil Scott, Vicki Dillard, and this lady right here, Demetra K. It all goes on the app, so you don't really miss anything. Rather than having to scroll or wait for YouTube to give you a signal, you can get it all there on the app. Have your own conversations. Curse her out when you need to curse her out in any language you feel like you need to do, because the revolution will be not televised. It will not be televised. And share the app with your friends and family, and that's how we can get things done and changed and all that other good stuff. You guys didn't look. Demetra dropped a really good one yesterday, I believe, and it's pertaining to the Chicago study. Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, wants to do a reparations study. And he says, look, Black folks, I'm hearing you. You guys can do a study. Another okie doke. But see, that also tells you, Demetra, they're listening to what you guys are saying and what we're saying on these YouTube streets. They know what it is that we want. So again, you guys, welcome to the show. This is a great topic. Demetra's going to break it down. And again, we have a scrolling thing at the bottom if you guys sure want to donate and keep Demetra motivated to do these great videos, because it does cost a little something to take the time. I believe time is money, and it does take her time to put up videos and do these things. And by donating to the scrolling banner there, you give the content creator 100% of your donation versus 60% that YouTube gives. So again, let's get into it. I want to hear what you guys have to say. A lot of opinions on this. I already gave Demetra my opinion. So get ready. Woo! It's going to be hot.
Yes, it is. All right. So who else came on here? Black America. You say P. Diddy is the name, is the man, but I don't know what's going on. Okay, well, I'll do my best to explain it to you. I got something in my eye. I hate that. And let's see here. And Till Dog 12, how you doing? He says, don't get took out by Diddy. Well, I hope not. Little old me. And Mr. X, how you doing? What's good with you? You say you talking about Donovan. Look it up. Timothy Taylor, how you doing? Says, what if This was old sugar daddy paying for what he wanted. And a few years later, Cassie has regrets, even though it might have been consensual. Okay, well, we're going to try to get into all that. Mr. X, you say, why is his name the recovering Democrat? Donovan, you want to explain that really quick?
Well, I'm the recovering Democrat because, as you know, if you are a Black African descent here in the United States, we are born and bred to be Democrats by our parents and the generations before us. Unilaterally, Black people are Democrats. So, like a recovering drug addict or a recovering alcoholic or anything else, right? I want to be a Democrat, but I know it's bad for me. Their policies and what the agendas that they're trying to push. So I am in recovery. And guess what? A lot of people are now getting into recovery. As you see, the Democratic Party is in trouble with Black people. So a lot of people are going to some form of recovery to actually realize we've been voting for these damn people and we ain't getting a damn thing. Madness.
So I hope that explains it very well. And Easy E, how are you doing? Hello to you. And thank you so much for the donation. Love and appreciate you for that as always. Patty, thank you so much for the compliments on the red lipstick. And Rick, how are you this evening? Okay, let's see here. And Mr. Extra says, damn, study HR 40. We are past that. It's reparations now. Yep. And Sagittarius Goddess, how are you? Mike Nice, what's going on with you? Okay. All right. I'm gonna do my best to explain this because this all kind of just dropped. I think it was Thursday. Now I was out and about doing what Demetra does when she's out and about, and my sister calls me and she tells me, I think somebody sent it to me or something, and then my sister calls me and says, "Did you hear about what's going on with Cassie and Diddy?" And I said no. So I kind of briefly read up on it as I was out and about, and I said, "Oh, okay. Well, she's leveled a lawsuit against him for $30 million. And in fact, it was a federal lawsuit filed there in New York City." Now, without getting into too many details, because a lot of it is very graphic, can't really talk about it on here. But she accused Diddy of, assaulting her in a copious amount of ways and abusing her physically and, things like that. Now, some of you are probably saying, well, who is Cassie? And I don't know, maybe you're asking, who is Diddy? Well, of course, you guys know Diddy is a rapper. He's like an entrepreneur. He's a mogul, right? Like a hip hop mogul worth about $1 billion or so. So Cassie was his girlfriend from 2007. They met in 2005, but they got together in 2007, I guess, after he and Kim Porter broke up. Now, Cassie was 19 years old and he was 37 years old at the time. She also has had a record out. I think it's called You and Me. It was like a one-hit wonder type of thing. But more importantly, I guess she was known as his girlfriend and his assistant, from what I understand as well. So they had a relationship all the way up to 2018, where she left him. Now, she ended up getting with and now married to a personal trainer by the name of Alex Fine. And they have, I think, 2 children, maybe 3, I don't know, together. So 5 years later, from 2018 until now, again, she sued Diddy federally as a civil suit, not a criminal suit. And NYPD said that they don't have it. They're not like looking for Diddy for anything criminally at this time, right? So it is said that she was going to, now this is all said, I don't know how true it is. She was writing a book, sort of a tell-all. And that Diddy was presented with the opportunity, to make it all go away. He said no. But then her lawyer said on Thursday, Diddy came back with an 8-figure offer. They said all the way up to $99 million. I don't know how true it is, but this is what her lawyer is saying. But for whatever reason, the offer was rejected. And so not even 24 hours later, Diddy and Cassie settled. Now his people are saying in no way is this an admission of guilt of anything. And Cassie says that they did settle, and she still has some control. She settled with some control. So I don't know what that control is. If that control is her being able to talk about it or what, because usually when people settle, they have like non-disclosure. You can't gag orders and stuff. You can't really talk about it after that. So Nobody really knows what it entails. They just said that they settled. Um, but nevertheless, Diddy has been accused of a lot of things. Now, I should say this, and y'all could go look it up if you don't know what he has been accused of. But there's been a copious amount of people who came out and co-signed what she said, like Kid Cudi, for example. I guess Diddy thought that they were talking or trying to engage in a relationship or something. And he told Cassie, this is what she's saying in her 35-page lawsuit. I told Cassie that I'm going to blow his car up. And a week later, his car was blown up. And Kid Cudi did confirm, yes, my car was blown up in my driveway. Okay. There's been other people that come out and said, yes, they've heard Diddy say things to her. They've seen him do things to her. And a lot of people said that they just, weren't going to say anything because it wasn't really their story to tell. Like a lot of the, couple of the Danity Kane members said they knew. Now, Aubrey, I think O'Day is her name. She's been speaking out about it for a very long time. About some of the things that Diddy was doing. And Dawn, she's actually another one of them. It sounds like she was doing music with Diddy recently, but I guess maybe she came out and said, yeah, I'm behind you, Cassie. Thanks for your bravery and all of that kind of stuff. But again, a lot of people had differing opinions about why now. That was a big question. Why now? And, all of that. And then after the settlement, few people like I think Slim Thug and some other people basically went live and was like, oh, I don't think she should be entitled to the money or settlement after all these years later, and all of that. And a lot of times people tried to make a correlation between her and Bill Cosby, but I think I've studied Bill Cosby's case in depth, and Bill Cosby's case was nothing like that of Cassie. So to conflate or even join those two stories together, I think is highly ignorant. We know that Bill Cosby was set up, okay, but those stories are that maybe there's some similarities in some of the stories that the women were telling. However, I think Cassie's story is maybe just a lot different, not even a little different, but nevertheless. People have a lot of opinions. I have my own opinion, and I kind of just want to give it as we go because I know, people are going to say some things, and I just kind of want to give it some legal context. I'm not a lawyer, but I know a little bit about it, and I want to bring some logic to it because I know there's a lot of emotions. I want to also say this. Somebody sent me a video by Hassan Campbell, and he has a page on YouTube. He went live, it sounds like today, and he was upset about the Cassie settlement. Now, for those of you guys who don't know who he is, he was actually a victim, and I'll say I'm an alleged victim, okay? An alleged victim of African Bombata. Y'all remember African Bombata was accused of, SAing, if you will, a lot of boys, young men, and men. Now, African Bombata, y'all know I'm speaking above some of y'all head. He was, a pioneer of hip hop, right? And the Zulu Nation, right? So he inspired a whole host of rappers that we listen to today. A Tribe Called Quest is one of them. They have always said, we're part of the Zulu Nation. But he was upset, Hassan, because he was like, well, Cassie gets all this money. He says $50 million. I don't know where she got that number. He got that number from, but that was a number. He was saying, but African Bombata's victims got nothing. And in fact, he was standing outside of the projects where a lot of those assaults took place. Sounds like from the 70s on up until the 2000s. And he was pretty mad, and people were throwing bottles at him. And it sounds like he ended up getting pew-pewed while he was on live. So he was upset about that. But anyway, I guess I'll fill in more as I go. But I want to get to you guys' comments just really quick to see who came on here. But that's kind of the gist of, the basics. Okay, I just want to put that out there. All right. So let's see here. Okay. Donovan says, never settle the case when you are innocent and a so-called billionaire. It will never end. Michael Jackson made a mistake when he settled the first time. Look what happened to him. Okay. And I'm just going to keep reading. And Green Sun Lava, how you doing? Let's see here. Angela, what's going on with you? And Moni, I can see your comment now. I don't know what happened, but how you doing, by the way? Say much Detroit love, Donovan and Dimitri. I hope you guys are enjoying your Sunday. Temperature dropping. Yes, I'm enjoying my Sunday. It is getting cold, and I love it because I have a lot of coats that I want to wear. All right, and let's see here. Fishing with Rick. So you say, I second that. So I guess you're talking to Donovan. Your average logical thinker, how you doing? Happy Sunday to you as well. Black America says she would come up missing. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Marty says, I say a person don't settle voluntarily unless they know it's really some stuff on them. Court records have videos. That's why he didn't want it to be known. Okay, and protect Black children. How you doing? Says no criminals charges filed for these allegations. Yes, it doesn't sound like anything is filed yet.
But they say that that doesn't stop the police from investigating.
That is true. So. And they said, yeah, it sounds like maybe they are. So they haven't just said, sounds like they don't have any charges yet, but they are looking into it. So put it that way, okay? The average logical thing, it says Cassie didn't file criminal charges, just a lawsuit. Right, okay. So let me go on. And Sanchez, 73, how you doing? A settlement means no admission of guilt, rather. That's a lie and make no sense. If you're innocent, you will not concede, or I think he meant concede. Then he had the money to fight a case. If he gave Cassie $100 million, he is guilty. All right. So let me continue to read because I really want to jump in on those comments. And Timothy, he says, if it was 3 months, 6 months, we would understand. But she stayed with him entire decade. Okay. King Buck Wild, how you doing? And Salif, how are you doing? And King Buck Wild says she's trying to save her image, so she's playing to the white lady card, I think you meant. And if he was red, she was, where's the police report? Come on, lady, y'all can't back this up. Marcelo Muhammad, how you doing? Brother Reggie, how are you doing? Let's see. And your average logical thinker says Hassan has always had a lot to say about the celebrities. He's been speaking facts sometimes. Yeah. I think, and I'll get to that in just a minute because I saw it and my heart hurt for him. It really did. And Honeydew, how are you doing today? And Miss White, how are you? Yes, definitely praying for Hassan because that's pretty deep. And Vanjie, how are you? Brother Samuel, what's going on with you? Moni says, he said, from what I've seen with the court documents, she had video, pictures, and audio tapes. She was due to release the videos, was going to come out ironically on Tuesday. That's what made him want to settle. All right, so let me get into this as far as I can, and then I'm going to put the link in Donovan. You can respond. So a lot of times we say, why did they settle? If they weren't guilty, they wouldn't have settled. Well, let's take somebody like Michael Jackson and Kobe Bryant, for example, okay? Michael Jackson, now, of course, we've heard years after he's, died that people came out and said it wasn't true, it was lies and, all that other stuff. So Kobe, of course, we heard what happened with him and he settled, right? So a lot of people are like, well, if he didn't do it, why did he settle? Well, for one, we know that during discovery, things come out about you that you wouldn't want to know, that you wouldn't want people to know. So Kobe, they might have wanted to know all of his bedroom stuff and just different things he didn't want to know. So what is smart is you get with your attorney and say, what is it going to cost for this to go away, for us to settle, for us not to have to go through the court of public opinion, have all of my dirty laundry out there. And they say, well, they're asking, I don't know, $4 million. Okay, well, you got it. You're wealthy. Just pay it. So that's why I hate that argument. I hate that argument of, well, if they weren't guilty, it's because it's not that I'm guilty or I'm not guilty. I don't want y'all in my business. I don't want y'all in my business. And a lot of times, yeah, it's a shakedown for some people. And for people, who are totally innocent or whatever, I could fight it into the argument of P. Diddy. He's a billionaire. He could have fought it. Now, this is where logic should start to kick in. Diddy is a billionaire. Cassie and her husband together are worth $6 million, okay? Diddy could have tied this mess up in court for years and years and years and years until he bankrupted the both of them. He could have done that, but he didn't do that. So I don't know why he didn't do it because we weren't there, but I'm asking y'all to think logically and not emotionally and not with all the stuff y'all hear on the internet. Think logically, why didn't Diddy do that? Why didn't he tie her and her husband up for years and years until they just could not afford to fight it anymore? Okay. Also, there's a lot of heinous things that Diddy was accused of, including some trafficking and videotaping and, copious amount of other players in the bedroom with her while he filmed it, and snatching her hair out, and all kind. And there's, mind you, there's a lot of people who corroborated her story. So on the other hand, since y'all being logical, y'all should understand, and I don't know, I'm saying logically speaking, do y'all think Diddy wanted all that stuff to come out? Do y'all think he wanted her lawyers to subpoena all those people so they can say, I swear on this Bible that what I'm about to tell you about what I saw him do to her is true? And the other thing is, these guys that, he allegedly flew in to have relations with her, who's to say one of them didn't come out? And so somebody, y'all saying, oh, he paid the money. He opened the floodgate. So if he is that person, again, all this is allegations. If he is what she says he is and what other people said he is, don't y'all think he deserves to pay people for the things that he's done? Now, of course, I have studied Diddy because I've done some stories on him, and you guys have heard a lot about Diddy as well. Almost every artist that Diddy has worked with has been screwed over by Diddy. Almost every one of them. And I ain't gonna never forgive him about Craig Mack, because that was my boo, right? Nevertheless, Kate, right? I digress. He screwed over everybody. We've heard stories. There was even a story that came out from a first-hand witness that Diddy dangled Wale, another singer-rapper, over a balcony because he was in the same room with Cassie. They saw him do that to Wale. And so, y'all, let me ask y'all this.
Don't forget Shine, but go ahead.
Yeah, Shine did a 10-year bid. And while Shine was in prison, he said, when I get out, I'm going to do Diddy bad. Now, it seems like they mended their ways to some degree. Shine is off. He's the prime minister or whatever. He's got a political position in Belize and, all that other stuff. But Shine did a 10-year bid for something that he more than likely did not do, okay? But my thing is, now y'all got all this outrage for Cassie, but y'all didn't have all this outrage for all the other people. Craig Mack, Black Rob, they both went to their grave, a heart attack or something like that. And all the other, people, even Al B. Sure, he even said in the deleted
Kim Porter.
Yeah, he said, and I'm paraphrasing, that he believed Diddy did something to Kim Porter, which was Al B. Sure's wife, before P. Diddy got with her. Now, also, and I'm just putting this out there, he didn't say it, but y'all know that Al B. Sure recently was in a coma not too long ago. Mysteriously got sick to the point where he almost died. Now I'm gonna tell y'all a story. My daughter and I saw him at the Galleria Mall, and this man was healthy as a horse. Matter of fact, my daughter accidentally bumped into him because she was being nosy, trying to see.
Accidentally, yeah, right. Accidentally. No, go ahead. I go ahead.
She was trying, because I was talking to somebody, and she was turning around trying to see who I'm talking to, and he and his, I think it's a girlfriend, I don't know who she is, was walking, and my daughter accidentally bumped into him. He goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. Are you okay?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I looked, I was like, "Oh my God." That's Al B. Sure.
Are you off on your own, girl? Are you
right. So he was healthy. And there's like a couple months after that, because we hadn't heard from him, we learned that he was in a coma, like almost died. So there's a speculation and stuff going on. I won't get into all that. So I just want to, when we go on with this show today, I want us to be logical, okay? Let's get our emotions out of it.
Can I add to the logicity here? Now, I've said that, when you got $1 billion, you should fight it if you're innocent and stuff like that, or, things like that. But like you said, people settle things like that because they don't want certain things to come out because, like I said, it's not a criminal trial, it's a civil trial. Now, you got to think about this. A lot of rich people, like your Puff Booties and whoever these people are, what motivates him? It's the money. Did he just not sign a few contracts in regards to some alcohol and all this other things that he's promoting?
He lost a lawsuit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But what I'm saying is, people like that have endorsements, let's say Kobe and things like that, right? You represent this company, and sometimes these companies say, look, we don't know what's going on, we don't care. It's better to settle this because we want to get to the business. We want to get to the money. And sometimes these rich people, they settle in regards to money they're going to make down the line or whatever. I mean, if, you have lawyers. and they go, okay, we can fight this if we want. But at the same time, if we fight it, things are going to come out. You're going to lose these endorsements because they, they heard about that thing you did with the squirrel, and whatever. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta look at it from a business aspect in regards to how they look at these lawsuits. What will I lose in regards to more so than I gain? So I can see Michael Jackson in what he was doing when he settled it the first time. So I'm not saying that was a bad move. But hindsight being what it is and people being greedy, when you settle one thing, it opens the floodgates for more lawsuits to come at you, because now people are like, okay, he's wounded, we got him, let's come in and get ours and get ours and get ours. And I'm not saying everybody's going to do that, but to me, if it was me and I had a lot more to lose than $30 million, I'm a billionaire. Like Demetra said, he could have tied this up for years. Donald Trump, who's not a billionaire, the man hasn't been charged from January 6th yet. So that goes to tell you, the legalities and the things you can do to delay and do all this other stuff. So it's kind of a dual-sided thing. So when people say, well, he settled it because he was guilty, that's not necessarily true. That's not necessarily true. He was guilty or whatever. It's just the idea of sometimes you got to take a hit to make a couple of million down the road. What can I lose if I, pursue and fight this? So sometimes it's cheaper to settle it than it is to continue it. So, but we want to hear what you guys have to say.
Yeah, and King Buck Wild, you say right on now, DK. And if Diddy had a history of screwing people over, what made her think she was special? So I kind of saw some comments about her as well. Y'all got to remember, she was a 19-year-old kid. Now somebody's going to say, well, 19 is not a kid. Chronologically, she is an adult, but she's still a kid, right? He was 37 years old, and he got with her. And I don't care what nobody says. Nobody gets. I mean, maybe there's some people, but who gets with a person to have all that allegedly done to them? I mean, like, right. My God, he had a, sounds like on a numerous occasions had a train ran on her. You know what I'm saying? So who signs up for that? Now, this is where I think we're going to probably get into a little bit of, because that's what you call grooming. Yeah, she is of consent, but that's what you call grooming. You get you take somebody and you have them abused in that manner. Now, again, there's testimonies of people who say, yeah, I've seen it. I've seen some things. And so, y'all got to take into account, and this is kind of where where we might get into a little verbal fisticuff too. This also speaks volumes to the argument of older men wanting to get with younger women, because it's like, and that we've heard the argument on this show copious amount of times. Oh, well, they're impressionable. You can mold them, and and all that. They haven't been tainted by.
Absolutely true. It's absolutely true. So yeah, I'm going to co-sign exactly what you're saying. I mean, let's be real, fellas. Let's be real. A younger girl, as you guys know, doesn't have enough experience yet to where she will give you pushback, and you guys know that. So please don't be in these comments making men look bad by not telling the truth on something like that. Come on now.
Yeah. So, and also, if you guys know what a Svengali is, a Svengali is somebody like a Diddy. He has all this money and influence, and he gets these women, whether they're older or younger. Usually it's somebody's younger, and they're just like enamored by them. There's this big influence. There's maybe some fear. There's a lot of things involved in this. Svengali can make them do whatever they want by grooming, right? So once we got to throw everything in. We can't just say, oh, she's a gold digger and she's looking for a bag from Diddy. You know what I'm saying? And I keep seeing a lot of people too say, it's going to open up the floodgates. Well, if Diddy has done those things to people, y'all don't think that they should be vindicated some way, shape, or form for what has happened to them? Do y'all think because Diddy is a billionaire? Listen, these are all allegations. But do y'all think because Diddy is a billionaire, he should get away with what he's done to people? I mean, honestly. And Tawana says, was there an incident with Heavy D? Yeah, there's been, some rumblings around his death as well, because it sounds like he fell ill all of a sudden. So, y'all heard it all. Jay Joa, how you doing? He says, why would you accept money after someone graped you in literally 24 hours? I don't believe the grape at all. Well, I don't know. Because I try to really think about certain things, and I'm thinking, maybe she's like, you owe it to me. You know what I'm saying? You owe it to me. So well, yeah, you know, he probably should be in jail, but there's things called punitive damages. That's like saying, well, when the police officer shot this black man down in the street, he should just be happy that the police, his family should be happy that the police just went to jail. His family shouldn't look for punitive damages either. They shouldn't look to be compensated. So, I mean, you know, so again, are we just saying this because it's a woman going after what we would say a man's money, or does she deserve that money? Like, really think about it. Because right now, Diddy has a young girlfriend that she brags all over the internet about all the money he's spending on her, in addition to all of his other women. And he's got the money. Hey, it ain't tricking if you got it. But so he's got the money, and he spent the most time, I think, with Cassie. The most time with her. Now we're finding out all these things that she endured. Why don't y'all think she deserved the money? Like, honestly. Bruce Tracker, how you doing? He says coma like 3 months or more. Yeah, he was bad off. Like, he showed the video and all of that of his recovery. I mean, he was doing bad. We're talking about Albie Shore. Yeah, why not accept the money? And Will, how you doing? It says brings to my mind paying for oaths and do tell. And oh, Lord have mercy, Black America. And Mobile Works, how you doing? It says Yul Brenner is hilarious. Momo was going on. She says he had Cassie locked in a 10-year album deal. She only released one album. Who does that? Well, a lot of his artists only did that. What, Biggie did 2, and then he died shortly after the second one.
Craig Nat too, and he had to come back to do that one.
Right. So that's kind of like his MO, right? And it sounds, because he signed Cassie at first, and then parlayed that into a relationship with her. So that's
but wasn't he with Kim Porter at the time that he parlayed that relationship with Cassie?
They're saying, from what I read, he met Cassie in 2005 and she was an artist. And then in 2007, when him and Kim broke up, but I do know that there was times when him and Kim, I guess maybe they would kind of connect back and forth, and Cassie was still in the picture, sort of like what he is doing now. So it sounds like maybe at one point in time he had something going on with all of them at the same time. Okay. All right. Facts Not Feelings. How you doing this evening? And Gary Mack, what's going on with you? He says, what girls will do for fame? Is that what y'all deducing it down to, for fame? I mean,
girls, what will people do for fame? I mean, you guys are hearing allegations to Wayne Martin and, you know, all these dudes going out there doing what they're doing. I mean, come on. I mean, Hollyweird is called Hollyweird for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, I mean, she was with him. That was his girlfriend since 2007 to 2018. So they were, you know, and they know each other since 2005. So what was she really doing for fame? I mean, she left that relationship, you know, with nothing from him at all. But you know, the other crazy part about it is, I really think, in my opinion, that Cassie and her husband decided to go after Diddy because he kept messing with him. He put her in a song when he received his Vanguard Award from somewhere. He says, oh, I want to thank Cassie. And, you know, Diddy and her husband had a lot of back and forth. Now, it's also known that since Cassie's husband, Alex, is a personal trainer, he ran a 50-mile marathon for domestic violence awareness. What did he know that now that we're all knowing? Because you're not going to tell me. I believe he knew about what was going on with his wife, but Diddy kept on, you know, effing with her, for lack of better words, even after she left. So, I mean, maybe they were like, okay, also keep this in mind. Next week, that statute in New York is going to expire about people being able to file suits after a certain amount of time or something like that. So that was about to expire. So that probably forced her hand a little bit too. So there's a combination of things other than, oh, she's just trying to get a bag. You know what I mean? Let's raise our vibrational thought process just a little bit higher than gold digging. Okay, because think if she was a gold digger, she probably would have stayed and endured that. I don't know. King Buckwise says, look what happened to Johnny Depp when he fought it and won, but he's still ruined. But yeah, they tried to, Disney and all them tried to give it all back to him, but he was like, nah, I'm good. Y'all believed her and all that. But it worked out for him because there was a lot of testimony saying, nah, he's actually the victim. You know what I mean? Johnny took that to court. He took that to court to say, you know, enough. I'm the victim here. So.
And then, you know, we're not even talking about the allegations with the Tupac connection that just recently came out. So, You put that in there. Cassie was around during the time. What's his name? Keefe D, whatever his name is. The OG was saying whatever the deal is. So she might have some knowledge, and other people might have knowledge. So if I'm looking at, and I'm getting word that the feds and the police are looking into things, hey, I might want to go ahead and try to button this little part up as quickly as I can. So there's a lot of loose ends this man's got to deal with.
Yeah, Michael, it says a brain is not fully developed until someone is 25 years old. And yeah, I mean, as a 19-year-old girl in that industry, and we know there's a lot of piranhas and sharks in that industry, and she's a beautiful girl. So I'm sure, she was just ripe for the picking, unfortunately, Jay Joyce says she was going to write a superhead tell-all book of all the freaky stuff he did to her. Who wants the world to know about the bedroom activity? I think it was a little bit more than a freaky tale.
Supposedly Kim Porter was going to do the same thing.
Yeah. So I think it was more than just a salacious tell-all. I think it was, I'm gonna tell my story. I think that's what it was. But again, let's try to use a little bit of logic here. And I know it's easy to, because I've seen a lot of the chatter online about her being a gold digger. Her and her husband are broke. Between the both of them, they're worth about $6 million. Is it $1 billion? No, but they're not broke. You know what I mean? But again, and let's try to be a little bit logical here and I'm saying that because I want to open up this link. I just don't want to get into, I want y'all to have your opinion, but the silliness of it all just, that will derail the conversation. So I don't want to do that today. If y'all don't
Let's just have an open mind and see both sides of the issue. Let's just see both.
It's Facts and Feelings. She says, no, she had a train.
Yeah, she had a train ran on her several times, but allegedly
she didn't have it. It sounds like she's saying Diddy would fly these guys in, and he would make her look up these guys and all that to do.
What do you call it? Freak fest or freak off?
Hell, I don't know. Okay, Buck Wild. So I'm gonna skip down a little bit so I can catch up because I know I'm behind in the comments. You say, DK, so if a 16-year-old girl can have and it's her choice, she's grown. Is that what women say? If it's her body, if it's her body, right? So we can't do that for Cassie. I'm not getting a correlation at all. I'm not getting a correlation at all. So maybe you can help me out. Maybe when I put the link up, you can help me understand that, but I don't get the correlation of your comment with Cassie. So forgive me. Maybe it's just something I'm not connecting. Okay. Michael says, is the case very similar to R. Kelly's alleged accusation of violating women? I would say so. And in some cases, I think a lot of people say it's worse. You know what I mean? Okay, let's see. In fact, my feeling says take responsibility. Okay. And Timothy, you say it's sad to say, but train stuff is more common than you think in the hood in Hollywood. I would never do it, but it's definitely happening. Yeah. Again, y'all got to remember the age difference. And yeah, if it's one thing, if you sign up for that, but if you're coerced into doing that, I don't know. You know what I mean? And I try not to normalize that kind of stuff because it's pretty grody if you ask me. Let's see here. And J. Joe says, bruh, she was getting, okay, it's all, okay. Let me skip down to some of these other comments. Will, you say no personal problem with DT, just he was beating the Hornets. That's from his own camouflage, but men supposed to lead the way. And these big faces supposed to be the model. So I think maybe responding to somebody. Asha, you say, who says she was hood though? Yeah, I don't know where we're getting that from. Let's see here. Yeah, Andre Harrell.
Did anybody notice that when Uptown was a big record label and then Clive Davis and Diddy did a deal, whatever, because after Andre Harrell fired Puffy for something that happened within the company, whatever, all of a sudden Uptown gets shut down and Bad Boy rises. It's kind of.
Yeah, Diddy was like his assistant. Andre Harrell was
the AR. He was the AR. He was the artist. Yeah.
Andre Harrell was the NIC for lack of better words. And then Diddy, but yeah, Andre Harrell, he got sick and poof too. So Ricky say, if he didn't know, he shouldn't get away with it. Victim need justice. Yeah. So I'm like, why are we mad? You're like, I guess maybe I'm confused. I don't know. Like he's had a lot. So is everybody that was going after Diddy, are they gold diggers? everybody that accused Diddy of something, are they gold diggers? Now, y'all remember a couple of months ago, Diddy was feeling kind of generous. He said, I'm going to give everybody their masters back. And one of his artists, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, he says, we don't want that. We'll probably make about $400 a year off of that. Diddy has already milked the publishing for what it's worth. So he's basically telling everybody else, don't be fooled by that. Diddy's not doing us a favor. He's used it for all he's needed to. And now he's going to tell everybody, oh, I'm going to give all my artists their publishing. Well, why the hell did you hold on it for so long anyway?
And then if you take the publishing, you got to sign an NDA.
Yeah, so, come on. Angela says the human brain does not stop growing until age 25. When Diddy met Cassie, she was still basically an inexperienced child mentally. Yeah, I don't care what nobody says. 19 is still a child. But, that's what he wanted.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
when you were in the club,
Asha, I've heard some things about Justin Bieber as well, Usher. So I don't want to repeat these things because those things are rumors, and those people have not come out and said that Diddy has done something to or with them, but Cassie has.
Now, wait a minute. Now, I got a question. How old were you when you were in the club with your baby daddy? He was what, 40 something? That Marine?
I was 19 and he was, almost.
What were you doing in a man's club on the base?
No. Kara, how you doing? Says, why was it settled in less than 24 hours? There's some truth to what she's saying. I don't care if this was heard in the court. Diddy will go to jail. And that's exactly why, as I said, Diddy had the money to fight it. He had the money to tie her and her husband and her next generation to come up in court. And he didn't do that. Why? Because he knew that during discovery, we was going to discover a lot of things about him that he didn't want people to know. And they're saying that a lot of people, are maybe not wanting to mess with Diddy anymore now that this has come out. Because it's like, okay, we've heard a lot about him, but this is really like, as some would say, a nail in the coffin. You know what I mean?
Well, here's my thing. You've been hearing this about P-Butt, whatever his name is, because I don't really care for the guy.
Brother Love.
Brother Love, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, asshole, whatever. Everybody hears about karma. Karma is real, you guys. You can't expect to screw people over and over and over and over again and sleep like a baby at night and nothing's going to happen to you. One way or the other, karma's going to come.
And I saw somebody say that Cassie is white. Cassie is not white. Cassie is Black, Filipino. I think she's Mexican and something else.
She's more of the Asian persuasion, Black Asian.
Yeah, she's not a white woman. So and I'm not saying you're saying that, Timothy, but I saw somebody else say that. I guess I'm just kind of, but let me see. Let me get down to these comments here. Mobile Work, she says, no doubt, Poofy, y'all crazy, paid money because he didn't want the door open, but it will happen anyway. Yeah, I mean, a lot of times, if Cassie's inspired anybody, she's probably inspired people to be courageous. Y'all forget too that Diddy had a chef that accused him of walking around the house naked while she was there cooking, and she says he knew I was here, but he's swinging his dang-a-lang all over and like I'm here to cook, man. I ain't here to be seeing you do all of that. So come on now, come on.
Well, I have a question, and like I said, and I was kind of looking back and reading this and kind of looking at stuff. Puff Booty is a graduate of Howard University, is he not?
He is.
Kamala Harris is from Howard. You got all this boule stuff. Now, this is just me because I'm from the West Coast. I look at these people who come from, and I'm trying to connect. It's just amazing to me that the boule and these people that, not everybody that goes to these schools or whatever, but you guys know what I'm talking about, the boule, they're all involved in some shit. Like connect the dots, because is this what Howard is teaching? They're teaching women to be thoughts and sleep their way to the top. And they're teaching dudes to just, dog and, screw over women. Because what kills me is P. Booty, it isn't like he came from a very wealthy family, a prominent family. He's from the neighborhood, whatever, average guy, whatever. And then you get to a certain height, and then it's like they forget where they come from, or they act like they're not, what they are. It's just crazy. It's just a crazy thing to me.
Facts Not Feelings. She says, question, what did Diddy do to her that was illegal? How about allegedly stomping her, kicking her in her face, ripping her hair out, beating her and all of that stuff? Is that legal?
intentionally destroying her career. That's a crime.
In addition to, she accused him of, once she moved out, because like somebody else said, Diddy probably to this day still wanted to be with Cassie. Once she moved out into her own place, he came over and she said that he took it from her when they were broken up. So is that legal? Is it legal to do that to somebody? I'm asking.
Right. And as a boss, isn't it illegal to use your power to infringe certain rights from your subordinates? That's a crime. That's a crime.
Yeah. Also says she allegedly he held her hostage. So y'all tell me, is all any of the? I mean, I get it. There's this whole women trying to get down with men. But come on, let's be logical here. You know what I'm saying? Most, if not all, that stuff is not legal. It is not even. And she also accused him of plying her with alcohol and drugs. That's not legal. Momo, he says, even when Cassie came out with that song, Official Girl, she was saying in the song how she was so tired and she was about to run out the door. Okay. And Easy says, Diddy taking a page out of his music executive's handbook in order to stay wealthy by screwing over artists, male and female. Yeah. And it's been said that he's done that. So are we just mad because Cassie, stuck it to him and won? Or are y'all mad about it all? Timothy says, this is biracial favoritism because regular Black women in worse situations don't get no money.
Disagree. I mean, are you talking about people that are of the stature of the entertainment industry? I believe, what's the guy that was in Blackish? The lead character in Blackish. I didn't follow the show.
Anthony
Anderson. His wife got something like $40-something million. So people that are in a certain atmosphere, and his wife's dark, a typical sister, she got paid. But if you're talking about average, everyday Black women, of course not, because Ray and Pookie ain't got no, money like that. I mean, once you go to prison from selling the drugs, there ain't no money. You're living day to day. So yeah. So and again, that's a good point, but I think you're relating everyday people to these extremely out there people that are making big money.
Marty said, "What do I plan for Thanksgiving? Nothing really, nothing at all. It's a day off for me, so nothing. Probably will engage in a little television, but nothing major. As y'all know, my family's in California, so I have no family here in Texas. So yes, and I think you're talking about Heavy D. Easier to talk about Andre. Nevertheless, Black America says, why are we listening to people like this? I'm sorry, I don't believe women. The brick lady, the kidnapped lady, women lie out their butts. Kara, you say the only thing that makes me sad is that she intertwined this with empowering women to speak up about SA. Then she settled in less than a day. I'm saddened by this. I've never been in Cassie's situation, so I don't know what it's like to be a victim. Because y'all got to remember too, her going to court, she has to live all that other stuff. She has to relive it too. You know what I mean? Not imagining going to court is probably something what was probably a last resort. I don't know. But victims have to relive that stuff too, which is why a lot of times victims don't testify or they just leave it alone. But I always ask this: who motivates the motivator, right? Who empowered Cassie? So whatever empowerment she got from it, the other victims should find that empowerment as well. We don't always need somebody else to empower us. Sometimes we just got to say, you know what, F it, I'm going to empower myself. But I get what you're saying, but that doesn't mean that he still won't be held accountable criminally for what he has been accused of. I mean, you never know. Mobile Work, she says, yeah, dude was like 37 when she was 19, right? Dudes be like, this is in the business. It's like the men become animals looking to feast. Yeah, as I said, she was kind of like ripe for the picking. And that's why I said too, a lot of times, hey, Anita, how you doing? You have a lot of older men running around talking about, I want me a younger woman, so she's impressionable. Asha says, remember Dylan from Making the Band? I don't remember all their names, but I do remember the Making the Band. That wasn't it like Diddy show or something like that. Bruce Tracker says all 5 stated I started the company. Only two are living, Puffy and unfortunately Al. I'll be sure. Okay. That's who it was. It was Mark. Yeah. Mark Curry said he didn't want his masters back because it wasn't worth anything. Kara says Aubrey Day from Danny Kane said there was an NDA attached to it. Yeah. So they couldn't speak anymore. And they're like, our stories are gonna be more lucrative than these busted masters that you got. Now, all right.
I think Danny Kane had 5 members. I think 3 of the members took the little publishing, whatever. So something like that. Last I heard.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Easy. It definitely is some definite, demonic stuff going on there, right?
Well, look at the comedy. They're saying like Steve Harvey and a lot, all these people that are doing what they're doing. And what was his name? Cat Williams. I mean, he's been speaking about stuff for years, and a lot of what he spoke about is true.
Oh yeah. I don't know about that, Asha, about the undercover lover and Clive. I don't know anything about that. Idea, he says, 100% karma is real. What is in the dark will come to the light. Yeah. Jay Joey says she's mad because she's being downgraded after 10 years. Why didn't she just take a few millions from the stuff he gave her and disappear from the planet if she was actually in danger? So she downgraded after 10 years. She's been, they haven't been together since 2018. But again, y'all think that Diddy should be able to keep messing with her, keep taunting her, keep bringing her up in his songs and talking about her husband and stuff? Y'all think he should be able to do that? And what, she's supposed to just take it because of what? Because he's a man? Y'all think he should be able to continue to do that? And y'all talk about she downgraded. The woman went on to move and live her life. She's married to her husband. They have 2 children. And Diddy keeps on talking about her. Why? So because he's a bully. And he knows that he can do that. And he'll have a lot of people thinking it's all right, blogging about it. Oh, look what he's saying to her. Why didn't he just leave her alone? Because that's what I'm thinking. I think he poked the bear one too many times, trying to make a punk out of her husband. And he was like, oh, okay, bet. Because I know what these people don't know about you, but you want to keep on messing with my woman. So do y'all think that he should be able to get away with doing that? Honestly. But y'all want to make it about, oh, she's trying to get a bag and all this other stuff. I mean, like, when does she stop becoming being a victim to him?
Well, the thing is, see, okay, I'm kind of confused. When women are out there getting bags and doing whatever they got to do, whatever, it's no big deal. It's empowerment and all that other stuff, right? I'm for her getting her bag. I'm all for her getting her bag. I mean, prices are going up out here, you guys. Whatever that settlement is, she is now financially comfortable and stable. Her future and her kids' future are secured. I'm not mad at her because for the ass whipping she allegedly got, if that's the compensation that she feels that she deserves for that ass whipping, just like a boxer or anybody else, hey, she took an ass whipping and she kept on ticking. Now she wants to be compensated. Fine. It's over. It's done with. She's got her bag. Let her go on with her life. Let her go on and do what she's got to do. But I just think it's kind of ridiculous how we constantly, oh, well, she got her bag with this. Everybody's out here trying to get a bag. Why aren't we getting mad at these migrants out here who are getting a bag off of our tax dollars that we can't even get as American citizens? We have this outrageous outrage over the stupidest things. Let's applaud her. She got her money. Okay, go on with your life, and it's over. My question is this, and I agree with you, Demetra. He poked a bear. How many of you guys have heard about that crazy mayor up in Illinois, the city girl mayor, the one that's going on doing all the crazy stuff? Some people, for some reason, don't know when to quit. Now, how many of you guys, seeing what this lady's been doing up there, know in the end, she's going to end up in some federal prison somewhere? We all know what's going to happen because of the antics that she's doing. So, I just don't understand why we're outraged that this woman, the hell she went through, she put a monetary value on it, and she's going on about her life.
Your average logical thing, you says R. Kelly's victims didn't get paid, did they? I'm not sure. I don't know if they were. I think maybe they had some lawsuits. I'm not sure. But I mean, come on now. A lot of his victims, mamas and daddies, walked them up to, to R. Kelly, even after, the lawsuit about the 14-year-old. So it's like, that's why I think that what Cassie alleges is worse than R. Kelly, because a lot of the victims, you know, in the R. Kelly case, they had a lot of accomplices helping them be victimized, you know, like their families and stuff. So I don't know if they got money or not, but R. Kelly is suing the feds and somebody else due to leaking his text or something like
Yeah,
that.
Tasha K. He's going after. He put a thing on Tasha K.
Yeah, Tasha K. Yeah, she might need to go to a witness protection program after a while. Mobile work. She says sometimes the poofness needs to get defunded. What's done in the dark many times come to light. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Okay, so let's see. Let me skip down. Keisha, how are you doing? Says exactly the trial is not easy on the victim. Yeah. And Deanna says the case was civil. If she did go to court, wouldn't the outcome still be financial? She got what she sought out, right? Yeah. So right. She didn't have to go to court. It wasn't a criminal case. It was a civil case. And in the civilly, you are seeking damages, remedies, right? And that was, she was asking for money. Now, criminal, obviously, she'd be asking him, or actually be the state that would take up the charge. So it'd be the state versus Puffy, and they would be seeking for him to go to do some jail or prison time. So that's the difference.
Yeah, you know, and allegedly, if he did these things that she alleged that he did to her, he should have settled it right from when she came to him. I mean, it probably would have been cheaper to do that. I don't know what lawyers this man has. Dimitri, you've taken law. I've taken law. That would have been one of the first things I said. Are you sure? What's the first thing you always say? Is there anything I need to know? So you can make an educated decision. To stand on your BS because you've gotten away with it so many years, that's only going to last so long. Look at how long R. Kelly got away with what he was doing. It's only going to last so long. It's like a recording artist. You have a recording cycle, then you're on the casino circuit. You know, you're only going to record for so many years, and then you go on the casino circuit. You know, when will these people learn? You know, you're not going to ride that gravy train forever. It's just not going to be there forever.
Facts Not Feelings. She said, what's happening to Diddy is not good for the average man. Well, see, Diddy is not the average man, because the average man don't have $1 billion and the wealth and the power that Diddy has. So an average man would never even probably come into the same shop at the same store at the same time with P. Diddy. So I think it would, I can't tell you what to think, but to try to marry the two together as some sort of a linear logic, I don't think it matches. The Diddy and the average man shouldn't even be used in the same sentence in regard to, I guess, maybe social status at the very least. What do you think, Facts Not Feelings? David, how are you doing? Says, hopefully Diddy doesn't Biggie Young Miami. Yeah, you know, and Biggie's mom, you know, she has her suspicions as to what happened to her son and to Tupac. You know, easy. You say, what 50 say? His parties are wild and sex changing. Yeah, and 50 Cent trolled him too. He says, what I've been trying to tell y'all. He says, I've been trying to tell y'all, and now y'all see. So 50 Cent has been talking about Diddy and some of the strangeness that he has going on for a very long time. But, you know, people mad at Cassie because she's asking to be vindicated for what was done to her. That's so weird to me. I mean, like, I get it. I get it. You know, it's just, no, ma'am. No, the women are trying to, harm the men. I get all of that, but I think it's somewhere in between. There has to be a little bit of logic. Because if y'all had a daughter or a mama or sister that was in her Cassie's situation, I doubt very seriously y'all be like, well, why you wait so long? Keep letting him make it. I doubt it. Mobile works. Mobile M works, I guess I should say. He says, during the late 80s and 90s, there was this creation of music to prison pipeline. Even went on the stock market for people to invest. This was during y'all got so many names of him. Pooh Diddy's beginnings in the business. Lord have mercy. Yeah, he did. They said he swung a weight at him, a kettlebell, or whatever, at the coach, I guess, for speaking to his son in an ill manner. That's not normal stuff. I think it's UCLA or something like that. Jaguar Wright, she's been ringing the alarm about P. Diddy for a very long time, and people just thought she was crazy. Customer Service Busters, how you doing? Says, anybody think Puff faced her $30 million? He said, I think he meant gave her $30 million is a fool. Well, nobody knows what he gave her, but they settled nevertheless. Roost Tracker said, I believe Jaguar and Governess. So it sounds like somebody else was ringing the alarm as well. Black America, he says women aren't victims. She should have put him in jail if he was doing this. Okay, let's see. Dia, you say exactly. Illegal immigrants and immigrants are out of control. Hey, Norris, you say preach, Donovan. Oh, thank you. And how did your date go, by the way? We're curious. Your average logical thinker says the city girl mayor is a trip and her time is limited. Yeah, I've heard a lot about her. Juggernaut 171, how you doing? Says everybody's going to cash in on Diddy after all the grimy stuff he did to his artists. They were just waiting for time. Diddy is close to losing his power. That Pac allegation is no joke. Yeah, I mean, he's very, and I mean, the guy said that he offered him $1 million to do it. So everybody lying? Are y'all lying? Y'all mad at Keefy D? Is everybody lying on P. Diddy? Everybody? Y'all know him and J-Lo was together when that whole incident with Shine took off, right? Her people told him, hey, you need to get away from him. Now, mind you, she said she was very in love with P. Diddy. But that's when J-Lo's career was really starting to take off. And they was like, nah, you're going to have to cut him loose because he's going to ruin your career. So, you know, she moved away from him with a quickness. She just stand 10 toes down with him. Just putting that out there. Tawana, you say he is allegedly to be a corrupt human being, alleged rather to be a corrupt human being. He has been linked to eliminating people. How is he any different than Harvey Weinstein? Troy, how you doing? He says people act like they are the ones paying out the settlement. Okay. You know, it's like I get it. I know there's a lot of money grubbing women out there. I know that. But like sometimes we got to just use a little bit of logic. I mean, it's like I don't think anybody really want to be in her situation. I wouldn't want to be. You know, you think you're with somebody who was an older guy who's supposed to care for you and protect you, and he putting you out there like that. I mean, I was Young Jock, I think it was. He told the story. He said they was in the club together, and he says Diddy came up to Cassie and says, "Tomorrow I want you to shave the side of your head." And so he said he looked up and he saw a white woman that was at the same restaurant or bar they were in, and her hair was shaved. And so he said, he asked Cassie, are you going to do it? And she says, well, yeah, if that's what he wants. So that's how the shaved hair thing they said came about. And then I've heard some other rumors that maybe he snatched it out. So I'm not really for sure which story is true. Maybe she just wanted to shave it. I don't know, but it inspired a lot of other people to do it. That's for sure. Yeah. And Tigra, how you doing? Says he was also accused of, trafficking her. Yeah, that's what she said in the paper. And Jay Joy says, I'm not for you being cool with someone 10 years straight, then screaming grape when you break up with someone that isn't something to applaud. Who says she was cool for 10 years of him doing that? Because from what she was saying, a lot of other people said, it don't sound like she was having a great time. Sounds like she was miserable. And then when she did try to get away from him, he, broke in her house and took it from her. So what are you saying, Jay Joa? What are you saying?
And then we got to keep remembering they got together when she's a young person. A young person does not, and I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying a young person does not have the knowledge and the experience to know what is right, what is wrong. And, this man, think about it. I'm your boss. And you know what? We don't even need to think about it. You got a lot of people that will be at their job because you're living paycheck to paycheck, or you need that job so bad, even though your boss tells you what you're, and in your heart what your boss is telling you is wrong, but you want to keep your job that bad. This girl felt the same way about her career. Hey, this is the owner of the record label. I got to do what he says. Look at these police officers out here that will sit there knowing that their partner is violating your rights, and they will sit there and do nothing. George Floyd. The man was choking the man out, and the other guys just sat there knowing it's wrong. Forget if anything else, you're choking and murdering this man, and they just sat there. So if we are like that as people in general, why wouldn't a 19-year-old girl whose career is in this man's hands not be influenced by that and be afraid?
Right. Facts Not Feelings says, my problem is these cases set the precedence for a woman you're involved with can come back 30 years later and say you abused her with no evidence. Look what happened to Cosby. Well, Cosby, there really wasn't a lot of evidence. There was actually a lot of evidence to the contrary. was found guilty, but then of course it was overturned because his constitutional rights were violated. But it sounds like Cassie has a copious amount of evidence, including some of from what I understand, the filming that Diddy did as those men were doing those things to her. She said that he filmed them on, I guess, a recorder and on his phone. So, I mean, come on. Plus, like I said, all the people who are eyewitnesses and say, yeah, I saw something. I saw her bruise. I seen this and that. So, I mean, doesn't sound like Cassie just made that stuff up out of thin air.
And then when people bring up the Cosby thing, Cosby never denied that he gave the women quaaludes. He never denied it. The question, the thing in the Cosby thing was the statute of limitations had run out. That was the issue. The statute of limitations ran out. I mean, he didn't make the law. That's the law. And, so he's walking away scot-free. And they found this one woman who had so many months, and then they charged him.
Right. Angela says Diddy's name and brand has been irreparably damaged and nobody's fault except for his. Yeah, this is a lot of people really starting to move away from him. Of course, he lost that lawsuit. Can't remember the name of the company, but his alcohol brand, DeLeon and Ciroc, I think they housed those brands, but he tried to sue them. He cited discrimination because George Clooney, who owned Casamigos, they paid him $1 billion. But they weren't offering Diddy that for his alcohol. And he said, oh, it's because it's racist. Now, the company was like, well, it's not that we're racist, but, the market that you cater to, they're probably not going to buy. And from what I understand, the DeLeon is like $100 or so. Casamigos is what, $40? So they said that the urban market that you cater to probably won't spend that kind of money on a regular basis. And so he tried to sue him. Sounds like he lost. And then, they let him go. So that's how that happened. From what I understand.
Yeah, reality hits. People from the hood don't have money like that.
Right. Alana, how you doing? Says the difference between him and Weinstein is whiteness and being Jewish. Yeah, that definitely could be the big one of the differences, right? And customer service Buster says all those people are Hollywood employees. You can never tell when they're acting. Yeah, I mean, I guess, I try not to do a whole lot of conspiracy things. I know that a lot of weird stuff goes on in Hollywood, but everything does not have to be tied to a conspiracy. Like, can we at least for once say, well, maybe it's not tied to the Illuminati or conspiracy, or maybe the woman is telling the truth. I get it. Maybe Puffy is your fave. Maybe, y'all feel like he is representing men, which I hope that y'all not using him as a representative for men. But at some point in time, we have to think logically about things. Like, I don't know Cassie or Diddy. I wouldn't know him if I bumped into him in Trader Joe's. Okay. But from what I know, I think, we need to apply some logic. And again, we need to get up out our feelings, I don't know. Alani says, what's the cat's name? Did you put your cat's name in the thing?
Oh, T'Challa.
T'Challa. David, how you doing? He says Diddy is suspect about a lot of stuff, 24/7. Pause. Absolutely. Will, you say pay insurance for years, no claim, moment of claim, pulling teeth to get dues. So everybody's talking about they love your cat. Amara says she did a lot of things to stay in the lifestyle. Unfortunately, it ruined her. Yeah. But again, maybe she did, but then her allegations are saying that sounds like it was a lot of coercion as well. Y'all got to keep in mind the girl was 19 when they got together. Big Diddy was damn near 40. You know what I mean? So that's why I said too, y'all like to run around talk about get you a younger woman because she's impressionable. But unfortunately, a lot of men who get with younger women, they don't impress upon them the right thing. It sometimes come out as, master servant type of thing. So I don't know. It's a loaded conversation, to be honest with you, but I don't know. Be different too if Diddy didn't have a whole host of people saying things in the same vein about him. You know what I mean? In fact, my feeling says, when did a bad relationship become what Facts Not Feeling? Now, I really think you trolling. Black America says, would you feel the same if it was Cardi B? I would feel the same if it was anybody in that. What do you mean if Cardi B was having that done to her? Is that what you're saying? I would feel if it was a man. Like I said, Hassan Campbell, he was an alleged victim of African bombardment. I feel sorry for him as well. And yeah, I just think for him, especially men don't always get taken seriously when it comes to allegations like that. Because I bet you right now, if we was talking about a man, there'd be some people in here, oh, that's the kind of stuff you just take to the grave, but you don't talk about that kind of stuff. So he's saying, where's our justice? And I agree with him. Where is their justice? So as mad as y'all are about Cassie getting some justice, y'all should be just as mad at Hassan and all the copious amount of people that accuse African Mumbai of doing that. Y'all should be as mad because they didn't get justice.
Well, it was in the news yesterday. Another teacher was caught in a sexual triescapade with a student, and she's going through the trial, whatever. And it's like when it's a male student, it's like, oh wow, I wish there was teachers like that when I was younger. But let it be a female and a male teacher and a female. They want the male teacher under the jail, but the female teacher. I mean, we should be outraged regardless of how it goes. This is a person who's an adult who's in a position of power.
So Black Americans say Cardi B said she used to drug men. Would you feel the same way if Cardi B said this stuff? Donovan, have me and you not covered this about Cardi B?
Absolutely.
And what was my opinion on it?
She's a dirtbag, if it's true.
If it's true. So listen, I ain't gotta never lie to kick it with you. I'm not some tiny, okay? I feel the way I feel about it all. I feel that way about it happening to men and happening to women. So, like I said, I'm not on the side of women just because we got boobs and something else. I'm on the side of right, no matter what gender it is. Just so you know. All right, so let me skip down a little bit. Norris, you say, where was her family? I'm just asking. I asked that too. Where was her family in all of this? I was that's always made me wonder, especially recently, right? Amir says also maybe we should classify 19 as a kid then, since they think childish at that age, even if they have graduated from high school. I totally agree. 19 is a kid. I wouldn't want my 19-year-old daughter with no 37-year-old man. She doesn't even know what life even looks like at 19, let alone with some man who's been around for a little bit, doing God knows what and impressing upon her, something other than her own thought process. And I think that's a lot of it. At 19, she doesn't know what to think on her own because she hasn't really been around or an adult long enough. So a lot of times men will get with a younger woman and they tell her what to think. And it's just a mess. It really is.
Well, to be honest, though, a lot of these young women, they go into these adult relationships thinking what they saw in a movie or a Disney fairy tale or whatever. And that is attributed to them being young. They think, oh, it's supposed to be this way. Oh, he's the man and he's going to take care of me. And, and let's be real. You got a man that has a man of means. He's paying for her apartment. He's paying for her car. He's paying for her lifestyle. She's thinking, oh, everything's going to be copacetic. I mean, that's how they think about it because they don't have enough life experience.
All right, so let me get down to the bottom here and I'm going to open up the link. And please don't come on here with the foolishness today. I'll come on here with put your logical thinking cap on. And again, if you don't have nothing really directly pertinent to this conversation, please do not click the link. Honestly. All right, so let me see. I just want to acknowledge those who I have not seen on here yet today. Easy, you say. I do think he did some criminal things, which has a higher burden of proof, but the civil was the only way to make him pay with lesser burden along with the video evidence. See, somebody is thinking. Yeah, and somebody knows a little bit about the law. That a civil case is a lower burden of proof, and somebody does something to you, they damage you physically, psychologically, emotionally, you can sue for that. It's a punitive damages. So I don't understand why we're mad, that she got something from what was done to her. This is weird to me. I don't know.
So you're going to serve those papers on your sister for me? Because I've been psychologically damaged for 30 years of her ignoring me in my calls. And
you should. In America, you could sue for anything you want. Doesn't mean that you're going to win. Troy says, one thing I learned is people in authority take advantage of people, and they like to find inexperienced people to take advantage of. Yes, pariahs. That's what they do. They use and abuse people. Hey, John, how you doing? Let's see here. Jay Joey says, justice for what? There is no evidence at all of her being abused. That is not true. That is not.
We do not know that. I mean, but there's a copious amount of evidence and people who witnessed certain things. So,
Carlos, I'm about to put the link up right now. I just want to get to the bottom. So again, y'all, please screw on your thinking cap, because I'm gonna test you. If you don't, you come up here with the foolishness. I'm gonna take you to task with love, of course, but I'm gonna take you to task. So I'm gonna put it up here right now. Okay, let's see here. Facts Not Feelings says we're taking away the agency of this woman. What does that mean exactly, if you don't mind me asking? Okay, so let me put this here. Hold on. I'm serious. Let's have some intellect only. If not, I'm going to click you right on off. And it's going to be with love. It's going to be, I love you. Click. All right, so here we go. Link is now. Oh, shit. I mean, shoot. Sorry, hold on. I've had a long day, but that's no excuse. Hold on. All right, hopefully that was it. Here we go. Copy. All right, let's see if that worked. Seriously, don't click this link if you ain't got nothing to add to this conversation. Don't be slow dragging, slow talking, and bring it up here with no nonsense. Like, for real, for real. We're going to keep this moving. Okay. Mobile, you say Alabama security guard having charges put on him when there's copious footage. Yeah, people can bring charges, but it don't mean they're right. Yeah, so of course, too, the co-captain in the Alabama brawl, as they say, the charges are being brought up on him on one of a civilian. So the state or the police department is not bringing those charges up. They said they only recognize one victim, and that's the co-captain. Those charges are being brought up by a man who was there, who was charged himself. And he says that he was just there trying to break it up and see what was going on, but he got dragged into it. So he is the one that has leveled the charges. So again, the state nor Montgomery have put those charges against Damian Pickett is his name. They haven't done that. Just to kind of put the context up there. Facts Not Feelings, it says agency, her ability as an adult female to make bad decisions, like get into a relationship with Diddy and regret it. She is responsible for her bad decision. Nobody says she was as responsible. Okay, but you know what? Facts Not Feelings, I get it. You feel like maybe Diddy's gotten the short end of the stick. So I get people should have the agency over and owning their decisions, getting in a bad relationship. But do you think that she deserved the things that she alleged that he did to her? You think she should have to own that? Where is your vitriol for Puffy? I haven't seen you say one thing about Puffy for what he has been accused of. You haven't said not one thing. So Facts Not Feelings, I love your name. I've told you that. But right now, it seems like you're delving in feelings, but you haven't said one thing adverse about P. Diddy. Out of all the things he's been accused of, not just by Cassie, but a copious amount of people throughout the years. Yeah, all you're trying to say is that Cassie should own what happened to her in a relationship. Where's the only onus for P. Diddy for what he did to her? I mean, I'm just asking. Like, I'm one of those people, I can be on both sides. I can be on both sides logically, but to continue to say that a 19-year-old got into a relationship with a grown man, a fully grown man, and he allegedly did those things to her, she should own that? Where's the ownership for his behavior, for his actions? And that's what I always say too. Perhaps a lot of these men that do heinous things to not just men and women, if they have somebody put a foot to their backside or verbally snatch them up, and Kevin Samuels was big on this, that other men need to hold other men accountable. Perhaps if somebody had Diddy ear like that, maybe he wouldn't go around doing the horrible, evil things that he's done to people. But yet we keep making excuses. You want to blame Cassie, the 19-year-old at the time, who found herself in one way, shape, or form, because I firmly believe that Cassie thought she was getting into a business relationship with P. Diddy, because that's what they said. She signed a music contract with him. And then
And didn't she have a boyfriend? Didn't she have a boyfriend?
I don't know. I know she was involved with a lot of men in the industry. Ryan Leslie, he's a songwriter. He said
That's the guy. That's the guy. And then he disappeared.
But he said they were friends. But Diddy ruined their relationship because he didn't like how close he was to Cassie. And he said this even before she came out. So we're blaming this 19-year-old at the time. She's 37 now. She's still pretty young. 37 years old. We're blaming her for what a grown man allegedly did to her. Why should she own his behavior? Now, like, that makes me mad because it's like at some point in time, listen, I get it. Every black man I've been with has done me dirty. Every single black man, but I don't run around mad and hating black men. I might have an issue with the men that's done that to me, but I don't take that out on all black men. Whatever, I'm Dallas, I'm sure somebody scored. But to say that Cassie should be responsible for what that grown man did to her, I think that's messed up. And I don't see the logic in that. Yeah, she made a mistake. In hindsight, as my mom used to say, hindsight is 20/20. But that she's in that relationship, she should be responsible for that grown man doing what he did to her, allegedly. Yeah, she's an adult. Even if she was 50, facts not feelings, if she was 50, do you think that she should have that done to her? That nobody, I don't care how old they are, deserves to make a bad decision, getting into a relationship, and then say, well, that is their fault that that person did A, B, C, and D to them. Because where does that person get a slap on their wrist for doing those things?
Well, what we're forgetting, you guys, is this. The statute of limitations in New York, whatever this law is or rule, it's going to run out in a few days. So a lot of people who have been essayed, in the past and whatever, this was their last opportunity to do that. So some people, and I'm trying to play devil's advocate, but you got to remember, this is your last opportunity to address an issue that happened years ago, right? Because if this thing's going to run out, it's not going to come back in the future that we know of. So she's being put in a position where I could remain silent, or I could go ahead and put my story out there, and it is what it is. And so, we got to think about that. The law is kind of forcing a lot of women and men to take advantage of this law while they got a chance, because, I'm with facts, not feelings too. When, as a man, you're coming after me 40 years after the fact, but in New York, they opened that law to where you can do it, and it's going to close very soon now. So it's either now or never for these people who have allegations. So looking at it from that aspect, you got to let the chips fall where they lie, and, let her go through the courts. And if she settled, which she did, she settled and got her justice. It is what it is. So I'm looking at it from the legal aspect of, I don't think it's right. 50, 60 years, you're going to come back at me. But see, that door is going to close now. So, if it happened years ago, a better example is like child support. I'm a victim of child support. A lot of you brothers are a victim of the child support system. But our fathers and our uncles and our grandfathers, they've been grandfathered out. Why can't our mothers and grandmothers go back and get child support from these deadbeat old men? Why can't they do that? Because the law puts a statute of limitations on it.
Well, in fact, my feelings said it must be proven in court. Diddy didn't want to take that bet. He didn't want to gamble on going to the court system. And as y'all say, and I get it, a lot of times people settle because they don't want people knowing their business. And I think that's exactly why he settled, even though he says that he vehemently he's not guilty. He's innocent. I didn't do any of those things. He said that, but yeah, he settled. But again, there's a lot of people who came out and cooperated a lot of stuff she said. So, it must be proven in the court of law. But a lot of people who are don't want all their dirty laundry out there, like, how much do you want? How much is it going to cost? But the unfortunate part is for Diddy, and it's kind of smart on her, she got her story out and got money. Because now, a lot of people saying, well, they felt like she dropped the ball on some of his other victims. But the question is, did she? especially that it was a 35, 36 pages. The lawsuit is out there and people got a hold of it. That they can't make everybody not publish that stuff anymore. So, maybe she did do a good service to those that have been victimized by him after all. And I put the link in there. You guys want to come on and comment. Ariana says, I personally feel that this man should be charged and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, alleged sexual trafficking. I agree. I think he should be too. The facts I feel says Cassie is an adult. She has agency. But again, I haven't heard you say one thing that about the things that you've heard Diddy say. You've had a lot of venom and vitriol for Cassie, something that may or may not have happened in your opinion, but nothing about how horrible of a dude he may be for doing those things to her. And she's not the first person that said that he has done some pretty heinous things to them. So, well, what, you're a man. Are you mad that Diddy allegedly dangled Wale out of a window because he was in the same recording booth as Cassie? Are you mad about that? Dang somebody off of a balcony? That's pretty dangerous, don't you think? Or should Wale, because he has agency, should he take ownership over him going to record with Cassie when Diddy wasn't there, and and getting dangled out of a window? Should he be responsible for that too? Or Wale, should he take ownership of that? Just asking. Yeah, Ryan, Leslie. So you guys are saying that they were together. Okay, so I didn't know that. I thought they were just friends. But yeah, it's a lot going on. Will you say Diddy influence? Right, he was promoted to be in his position. Looked like time pay the piper for little Diddy. Yeah, if you acting like those things, doing those things, and yeah, and Tigger, you're right. It sounds like he did allegedly pimp her out.
Yep. And like I said, for everybody that's in the Illuminati, it's just like the Sith and the Jedi. You got to get a new apprentice. I mean, Diddy's time is up. They're done with him in regards to what he's doing, so they're going to give him up. I mean, the guy's our age, Demetra. So well, at least my age, not your age. He's my age, whatever. So it's you got to bring in new blood. Diddy is done. One thing about white supremacy, when they're done with their tools, they break them. Always remember that in politics and anything that they do, white supremacy, when they are done with their tools, they break them. Diddy's time is up.
So Health Light, how you doing? He says the court documents doesn't indicate a dollar figures. It was the attorneys that said the figure is 30. So I think it's 30 million. Okay. And Celeste said he's trying to imply it's her fault for not leaving, but she was heavily controlled in that relationship. Yeah. She said there was drugs involved, there was alcohol, there was coercion, there was trafficking. And when she did leave, he went to her house and took it from her. So, unless, like I said, I've never been a victim of those type of things. And I thank God every day that I never have been. But, we've heard a lot from victims who say, come on, the man was accused of blowing up somebody's car. So imagine what he said to her. Now, Kid Cudi is a man. Are y'all not mad that Diddy potentially blew up his car even after he told Cassie, if you keep talking to him because he thought they were in a relationship or something, if you keep talking to him about blow his car up and a week later his car blew up in the driveway and Kid Cudi said, yeah, that did happen. Is it his fault? That shit, because he had agency, right? He was an adult. Is it his fault that Diddy allegedly blew his car up? When does Diddy get any blame for some of the stuff he may have done?
Well, the implication of him and Tupac and Biggie's situation. I mean, you got artists that were saying that Diddy also is involved in Biggie's murder as well. So, I mean.
Yes, I'm sorry, Norris. Keisha, how you doing?
Hey guys, how are you?
We're doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing really good. I am so glad you're covering this because I think it's so funny in our society, the way we look at people who are victimized. We want to make them responsible for everything, and the victimizer gets held responsible for nothing. You don't get to do something bad to somebody and then tell them how loud they can scream, when they can scream, give them parameters for how the screaming can go. Like, you don't get to tell somebody how to react to your bad treatment towards them. It just doesn't work. And then when we think of her being 19, they did this, it was like this a study a long time ago with elephants and baby elephants to the elephant becoming an adult. And I don't know if you guys heard about this, but they chained a baby elephant with a really strong chain when it was little, and every time it would try to pull away, it couldn't. And they would chain that same elephant no matter how old or how big the elephant got with that same chain. And do you know that elephants stopped trying to get away from that chain even when they could? It's your psyche. Mentally, you can be broken. And from what it sounds like, if this is true, that child was broken a long, long time ago. And so we have to
Absolutely.
start looking at people the way we would look at ourselves, not because they're a woman or not because they're a man, not because they're black or white or mixed or whatever. Human beings have emotional, psychological, ethical, all kinds of things that make us whole. And if your morality is broken, if your ethics are broken, or you're dealing with somebody whose morality is broken and ethics are broken and convinces you that you're nothing because you think they're everything, then come on, what are you then going to do to yourself or allow to happen to you? We can't think of this as just, oh, she's 19, she's an adult. She's just a year away from 18 and 17 when she was in high school. Like, come on. And I think her mother is a black woman from Mexico and her father is Panamanian or something like that. So are they wealthy? Are they middle class? Are they poor? Are they struggling? Do they know what to do in terms of this? Are they, afraid because they're immigrants? Like, come on, there's a lot going on here. We need to just respect that. That's my two piece.
Yeah, thank you so much, Keisha. You're actually absolutely right. And Stockholm syndrome is kind of what
Yeah,
that is too. You talked about the baby elephant. Yeah, I mean, um, and a lot of times, I don't know, a lot of times victims sympathize with the people who are victimizing them. You
right.
know, oh, he did it because he loved me, or my mama loves me, is why she did that to me, or my father, and so they have sympathy for him. But as you said, I mean, 19 years old is really 2 years old, 2 years away from being a child. So to expect for her to have the wherewithal of a 37-year-old woman, or a woman that would have
Right.
been close to Diddy's age, I think it's ridiculous. Because I know when I was 19, yeah, I was doing the Cabbage Patch in the club.
Right. And the
So
running man and the walk.
all of that. I didn't have too much of a sense that God gave her cricket, so I couldn't imagine being with a man that was almost twice my age, right? I mean,
Right.
I couldn't imagine. So, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
You made a lot of great points. And yeah, David Christopher Williams, allegedly, was violated by
Right.
Diddy as well. And I love me some Christopher Williams. That made me mad to hear that. I hope it ain't true, to be honest with you.
Okay. But
So,
I'm going to drop down so other people can get on. But thank you for having this
well,
conversation.
thank
This
you
is
for
so
coming and bringing
important.
some
All
common sense
right.
up here. Thank you.
It's good to see you, Donovan. Bye, guys.
Bye bye. So I'm gonna put the
But
link.
but let me speak for the men. Because I could see where men kind of see the same thing in regards to how we are dragged into the court system. And unfortunately, a big issue with men is the child support system and how it is unfair toward men, to where we get no justice, we can't appeal things, we can't get audits, we can't get all this other stuff. So I could see a lot of guys coming in here understanding what Cassie's going through, but feeling that there's a double standard. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. And there are a lot of double standards. There truly is. But do we need to apply a double standard to every damn thing? I mean, can't she be, a victim? And as I said, it's be different if it wasn't known. There's a lot of people who connected to them knew that. And they're speaking out about it now. They said, I can't remember who it was. It was somebody uh said something. They basically like, well, it wasn't my story to tell. You know what I mean? Because some people say, well, why you ain't been saying nothing? Because it wasn't my story to tell. It's like snatching somebody out the closet. When they ready to come out, they come out. Then we can, say what we want to say or whatever. But it wasn't their story to tell. It was her story to tell.
Right. But, in regards to the child support system, and I don't mean to make light of this, but, I was a victim of the child support system myself. And, here we are. I'm trying to prove this child is not mine, but the court system is going to make me be the father financially, regardless, with no rights, even though I'm not allocated to my day in court. I have proof this is DNA biological. This is not my child. And, it's just a tough thing. Even though child support and this allegations by Cassie are two different things, I can see why guys feel victimized in every situation. And even though P Booty is a dirtbag, I never liked the guy from way back when he used to what's that guy? He used to hang out with Bentley Farnsworth or whatever that fool was, and just the tomfoolery he was doing. I never liked the guy. So I can see where guys are, are kind of like non-sympathetic, like, hey, we don't care, or, whatever. But, again, two different things. I'm happy for her that she got compensated for the situation she was in. That's my take on it.
Facts Not Feelings just said Stockholm syndrome is when you're held against your will and you become psychologically attached to your kidnapper. Well, that's what she alleges. She alleges that she was held against her will and she was trafficked. She has that in the documents. And we most notably heard about the Stockholm syndrome during the Patty Hearst incident where, what was the name of the, was it one of those, like domestic,
the Liberation Front movement.
Yeah. It's on the tip of my tongue. When they kidnapped her, Patty Hearst was, the heiress. He was a billionaire or millionaire. They had a lot of money. And they saw her on surveillance helping to rob banks. And so they're like, what's going on? At first she was kidnapped. Now she's helping them. And she became, as some would say, sympathetic after she was kidnapped. So yes, in this situation, Facts Not Feelings, Stockholm syndrome could apply if indeed Puff Daddy did take her against her will. And, she stayed, as you guys will say, why would she stay? Black America says, this makes me hate to hear women talking points if it's disingenuous. Well, deal with it, brother. Deal with it. I mean, if it's disingenuous, that's one thing. But again, you should move outside of your feelings and a little bit more on the logical side, because the truth of the matter is none of us were there. But I think Cassie has, more of the evidence on her side than Diddy does. I think most people would agree with that. Now, I hear some of y'all, and they're basically saying there was no smoking gun and all that other stuff, but there was enough there for Diddy to write the damn check. Okay. Yeah. And Paula was a Jay White or whatever her name is. She basically said the same thing. A lot of men are saying, well, why she wait so long and all this other stuff. It's like, girl, ain't she the one that's with some dude they living up in a hotel or something like that? And, all that other stuff. Is like, Diddy ain't going to give you no brownie points for co-signing. But, there's a lot of cases where people are not telling the truth. But for her to dogpile on Cassie like that, when a lot of people had a lot of stories about him, I think she didn't do herself any favors. Strong and humble, and here to learn. How you doing? So some people at 18, 19 still have a child's mentality. Yeah. But again, as I said, there are some gentlemen who, want younger women because they can mold her thought process before the old hyenas get to them,
Yes, you want a person that is less compliant, that will give you less resistance, and that's a younger person that has less experience. That's just how it is.
Yeah, but you trying to pour good things into them, or you trying to? Not saying you. I'm just saying.
Well, you should. Yeah, you should try to pour good things into them.
Are you using them for your own benefit, where they have no thought process at all, or anything like that?
I mean, who's that girl with the good, the Suki Buki, whatever her name is? That's a prime example of a woman that you can, being young and stupid and just valuing her body. That's a prime example of a woman you can use and abuse in the way Puffy was described using and abusing Cassie. That's a prime example of a woman to do that.
Yeah, and yes, that's the allegations. Fact Not Feeling that is the allegations that he did. She had sex trafficking listed in those allegations. So yeah, and J. Joy, I mean, you keep repeating the same thing. Prove it. There's no need to prove it because he settled. So there's no need to prove anything. Y'all mad because he wasn't gonna give it to y'all. Y'all mad because she got and y'all didn't endure what she allegedly endured. So I don't understand why you're mad. There's nothing that needs to be proved at this point. They've settled it and they moved on. The Carter 4, how you doing? Says Christopher Williams probably needed that check from Puffy. Don't judge him. I'm not judging him. I want to fight Puffy because of that, to be honest with you. I want to fight him Because if what I heard, and I don't want to repeat it because it's sad actually. If that's true, maybe Christopher will say, yeah, I was in the dire straits and that was the offer that was presented to me, and I took him up on it. So, I don't know. Illuma Negro, enlightened minority, how you doing? Says, where there's smoke, there's fire. That's usually the logic. In mobile, you says, don't know if it's possible to buck break someone who's already buck broken and also travels those circles. Speaking of Poofy, by the way, from what they say, he's into that stuff. That is the allegation out there. Easy, you say, dude's father was a street gangster, so he's trying to emulate. Yeah, I did hear that about Puffy as well. Celeste, so you speak.
Let's just think about this. Okay, we're talking about the 90s when she came, late 90s when she came on the scene, whatever. During the 90s, during the rise of Murder Inc., Superhead. If you guys read her book, a lot of people have read her book. What were they doing with the video vixens and stuff? These guys were popping pills and on drugs and all that. So during that phase, that wasn't something that was uncommon, because I know some people are saying, well, did he make her take the drugs? No, she probably took the drugs of her own volition, but everybody doesn't mean it's right, but that was the thing that was going on in the industry at the time. I'm not making excuses, but I'm just saying, Superhead, you can go on and on to all the video vixens. They were all being passed around and doing that stuff, So let's look at it for the context that Cassie is talking about. We're not talking about the Cassie of today. We're talking about the Cassie of then that was allegedly assaulted and trafficked and all this other stuff. And a window opened, and now she's kind of has to do what she has to do.
So the police department said that they do not have anything on P. Diddy as of yet. Sounds like they're looking into it. So as of now, no, there are no criminal charges. So the other thing too, for to be criminal charges, there has to be a complaining witness, which would be Cassie. So if she's not complying, well, then what case do they have? So I don't know. That doesn't mean that those things are not off the table as well. So it just remains to be seen. Ariana says, Diddy is a powerful media mogul. Nobody wanted to check him. Yeah, and I get that. But somebody should have, right? Celeste says, when I met him in New York, he was cool, but also kind of obnoxious. Diddy has a very big head. That I've heard that as well. Okay. And then Luminegro, he says, plus it's more to come down the line. I think so too. I think so as well. Yes. Was a BLA says, yeah, Patty Hearst was a homegrown, they say terrorist organization that kidnapped her. And again, she became sympathetic and actually was seen helping them. And that's kind of where they applied the Stockholm syndrome.
And once again, white supremacy, when they finally got those guys all together and put them on trial, guess who walked away with almost nothing?
That's what it is.
No jail time, no nothing. The Symbionese Army, yeah.
Yes.
Patty Hearst, she almost got nothing in criminal, but the other people in jail forever.
Yeah, because they did. They invoked the Stockholm syndrome in her situation, and that's kind of. And I remember it was like was it 70s ish, but I remember it being on the news. It was like all up on the news, and I was a kid then. But that's how I learned about. That's how I even know about it, because I remember it being inundated on the news, during the time it was going on, and so I just kind of inculcated that as my parents were watching it, and I remember being at my grandmother's. She was watching it all as it unfolded. So that's how I learned about it back then. Let's see. Yeah. And that would be what a lot of people are saying too, that she was groomed. That's the prime example of grooming. And yeah, Ruse Tracker, they said he groomed a lot of other people as well. The allegation is Usher is one of them. That is the one of the allegations. Hello, Miss Corliss. How are you today? Looking all fine and beautiful and everything.
No. What's the term snatched? She's snatched.
Yeah, snatched by his head. That's about all.
What's up?
You know me, working. That's all I do. But anywho, You know, I found that like really interesting. This whole thing with this girl. And I know some people are probably going to get mad at something that I'm about to say, but that kind of hits close to home. Okay. And I will say this. I don't condone the behavior of these men or women that do these to younger people. But I will say this. When people tell you something or you hear something about people, you damn sure better believe it. And try to keep yourself out the way because all money ain't good money. And that's just the truth. Okay? Because I got somebody in my family that's near and dear to me that I birthed, but put herself in a bad situation. Okay? And I had to go to court. And I had to say something because, of course, she's underage, but you as an adult male or female should know better. Period. You should know better. You know, some people have problems where they're attracted to younger people. And I know myself, I was 14 with a 21-year-old. Just was. I wound up marrying him. He was good to me. But according to the law, his ass would have been threw up under the jail. And it wasn't because I lied about my age. I told him the truth. So he knew. So you just have to be very careful in what situation you put yourself in. Even as an adult, you just don't know people.
No,
So,
I mean, no, you're right. You do have to be careful. I just think, you know, I can't remember. I think it was Facts Not Feelings. I just really take exception to, yes, she made a bad decision, but it's like, yeah, you made a bad decision, and as they say, hindsight is 20/20. But when does the person that's doing the heinous things to you get to own the stuff they're doing? You know, like, doesn't make it right. You made a 19,
absolutely.
yeah, you got in a relationship with a man that's almost twice as old as you, and he did some pretty horrible things to you. It's like, so it's like, well, that's what you get. You shouldn't have been in a relationship with him in the first place. It's like, okay, some of that can be true, but then when does he get to hold the responsibility for what he was doing to her?
Right. And then not just him, the people around him. What man is around him that would ever hold him accountable for his actions, or any person for that, you know, matter, like me at my age. I'm 50 years old, and you damn sure better believe I got people around me that's gonna hold my feet to the fire, good, bad, or indifferent. They gonna tell me. Demetra, one of them. Donovan, too. So, I mean, you just have to. Some people ain't your friends that's in your circle. They just in your circle to, what they say, they attracted to your hand and not your heart.
Yes, people. Oh, yes. Yeah, that's, yeah. I don't see nothing wrong with that. Oh, yeah, do that. That's why I said, too, you need some no people in your life. Mm-hmm.
Then no, you better not do that, or you gonna know your ass gonna be in jail. Now.
Right. You know, or like I said, somebody who's not afraid of getting cut off. You know what? I'd rather you cut me off than to me be, complicit in what you're doing.
Right.
R. Kelly, you know, as one of them. I look at all the people, his brothers, his managers. They said even record executives, everybody knew. They said teachers knew, you know, some law enforcement, they all knew, but nobody really checked them on it because he was very generous, you know, and they didn't want to get cut off from the things that he was doing. I mean, even parents that walk their children up to him well after the child with the 14-year-old, here's my daughter, you know, she could sing. Well, let me take her back to my place with it. Oh, you promise you're not going to do? Oh, no, I'm going to have somebody, you know, with her all the time. And then it comes back that, you know, he trafficked her and couldn't, you know, so yeah, you know what I'm saying?
And that's like, what's his name too? Now, don't get me wrong, because I'm going to still listen to R. Kelly. I'm going to bump him. We're going to rock him up over here. But at the end of the day, all them people that was around, let's start with the parents. When they threw his behind in jail, guess who should have been right behind him?
The parents.
I'm talking about, they should have been some track stars up in the prison. Because you knew. And then they said the one girl who was the key witness. Now y'all done went back through these people's phone. What kind of attorneys you working with all this money you got? Because that's the first thing, me represent anybody. Where's your phone record?
Right. Yeah, so, and like I said, I wish that none of it was true, to be honest with you. I hope it's not true. I really do. But, somebody said, where there's smoke, there's fire. P. Diddy has been getting, these allegations have been coming up for years. And now that Cassie's, I guess we could say she won. I know that's kind of a sick way of putting it, but Cassie won and nobody else did, even though they were saying, hey, like Craig Mack, he went to the grave pissed off with Puffy for what he did to him. But yet, now that Cassie somewhat is holding him accountable, people are calling her everything but, victorious. And I think she's victorious because it sounds like some of the stuff he did to her, a lot of people wouldn't survive that. Being drugged and, assaulted and beat and all that. A lot of people wouldn't survive that.
He should have just got with, what's her name? Sexy Red.
Right.
Hepatitis Red. Well, the thing is, yeah, okay, she got her settlement or whatever the deal. They settled out of court, but the question is, how long is she going to be around to enjoy it? That's what we got to watch for.
I think by now, if anything happened to that girl, people going to be like, oh, I think we know who did it. So I think with this too, there could be a lot of reasons why she went public. She's asking the man for the money. Now, man, that's another way of people buying themselves protection. Now something happened to me. Y'all know where to go. So I think a lot of it was probably very strategic on her behalf. Let me go public. Let everybody know that way there's no speculation. Yeah, I'm asking him to pay me handsomely for what was done to me. Plus, he promised the girl a career that never took off. He made her, for lack of better words, I'm not trying to disrespect her, a concubine. And that doesn't sound like that's what she went into their relationship. Now, originally it was a working relationship. And then he turned it into, and she was an adult, so she consented as well to a romantic relationship. And I don't know. I don't even know if she made any music really after that, one hit that she had. So I don't know. There's definitely a lot to ponder there. But, unfortunately for Diddy, I don't think this is the end. I think that a lot of people are going to start coming forward and say, hey, I got a story to tell.
See, but isn't that what I said at the beginning of what I thought was going to happen when you settle these cases like this? Regardless, I don't know if he's innocent or guilty. That's what happened to Michael Jackson. He settled that first case, and they kept coming after him. And it's unfortunate, but that's how it is. That's how the law works.
Yeah, but again, we know. I mean, you still have to prove those things for the most part, right? You got to get a jury, depending on what type of trial it is, to largely agree that something an injustice was, happened upon you, or whatever the case is. But yeah, of course, when you got big money, people are going to come after you. It's called deep pockets. Again, they still have a burden of proof. And that's unfortunately what happened to Michael Jackson. He was accused and sued and this, that, and the other.
Ruined his career, ruined his money.
Yeah, but a lot of people also would agree that it was a conspiracy against Michael Jackson because they never did prove those claims. And in fact, a lot of those people came out and said that we lied, that Michael Jackson never did anything to us. So
they just signed off on it to dog him out. I mean, everybody just piled on. This is sad.
It's unfortunately the nature of the beast, and but like I said, if Diddy did those things, it sounds like a lot of people have accused Diddy. I mean, he owes a debt. He should not be absolved for paying for what he's done to people. I don't know. I mean, the other thing is Diddy's got daughters. I guarantee you he wouldn't sign on to somebody doing that stuff to his daughters. Sounds like he, has a fortress around them, but yet he, allegedly was doing that to somebody else's daughters. I mean, he's got daughters that are not too far off from where Cassie was when he got with her. And I guarantee you, if a 37-year-old man came knocking on his door talking about, I'm with your daughter now, you probably wouldn't hear from them no more. Brother Sammy says, question, is a large age difference really wrong, or is it wrong in the satanic world we live in today? Example Abraham was given his handmaiden. So a large age difference. It depends on what ages we are speaking of. I would think, in my opinion, if you're speaking of an older man who's like, I don't know, early 30s, 40s, and the younger woman is 19, 20, 21, I think that's a significant age difference, because a 20, a 19, 20, 21-year-old woman, and I'm just using that as an example, what life has she experienced? What has she gone off to do? What thought process does she have of her own? So she gets with this young older man, and she doesn't really know who she is in life. And I guess that's probably kind of the purpose. Um, the older man and that younger woman, they're not even on the same page nowhere in life. So it becomes a little bit, now, I don't mean it to be disrespectful, but it does become a little bit predatory. Now, if you're talking about a 50-year-old woman with a 75-year-old man, okay, now they both experience some life, you know, because Corliss just said that, you know, she was with a 21-year-old man at 14. I guarantee you, even though that's only a 7 age difference, there's probably a lot of stuff that he knew and was maybe more prepared for than she was. You know what I'm saying? So I just think it depends on where you at in life.
And we have to remember too, we are not back in our great grandmother's days and our grandmama's days, because my grandmother was 13 years old when she got married. Okay. And he was every bit of 20 something, but it's totally different then than it is now. I had one of my buddies looking at my daughter. He was like, and he saw her grow up. He was like, "Hey, chocolate." I said, nigga. No, sir. Like, we not doing that. But because of, you know, she's gorgeous. But, you know, and it's crazy too, because we just went to a funeral like a few weeks ago. And I mean, they was out there like, my mama had to jump in front of her. And I had to jump behind her, because it's just like, she was a walking piece of filet mignon, as they say.
Right. Well, let me ask you this. And, you know, unfortunately, a lot of these young girls dress in a certain, I'm not saying your daughter, but I'm saying, you know, in today's world, women dress very revealing and men are very visual. So would it be more so because of the way we are today versus the way it was back then, where women were covered up?
No, because you remember Suge Avery. Stop playing.
Yeah. What about Suge Avery? What about?
You know, she was a little
Wasn't she a hoe?
Excuse me. Calm down, sir. Calm down. She was a respectable harlot, okay?
But that was a movie. That was a movie, though. I'm
just saying, like, I'm using I'm using the movie of, because guess what? Her in the movie.
Wait, hold on, Carlos. You can use the movie as an example, because they often do. When they want to talk about how no good women are, they bring up the color purple and how they were influenced by the color purple and Mister and all of them. So you can use it. Go ahead.
But Donovan, for real, in real life, we know it's some Suge Avery's. It was back then. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, Suge Avery is a real person, even though she's a figment, but she's a real person. You know what I'm saying? I can say this. Should a woman dress naked and think a person is going to respect them? I think we all know the answer to that. Okay. But my uncles always told me, it's the perception of how you present yourself. So if you present yourself loose, should people treat you like that? No. But are they going to treat you like that? Absolutely they are. Absolutely. It don't mean it's right. But if that's the Sexy Red, I don't even know that little girl. And the first time I ever heard her song was yesterday. It is no way. I don't even understand why we entertain her. Like, seriously, it's sad. Because now you got little girls out here thinking it's okay to come on a stage half naked, bouncing and bopping your ass everywhere.
Pregnant, 8 months pregnant,
And I
twerking.
was just like, why? Why are we entertaining her? We should shun her for real. Stop entertaining foolishness. That's why these kids out here doing it, because it's posted everywhere. They keep, oh, we're going to retweet her. We're going to share her. When they asked me if I knew who she was and what her song was, I knew who she was, but I ain't never heard her music. You know why? Because I can't entertain that.
Black America, how you doing this evening?
I'm good. How's everybody doing today?
We're doing well. What's on your mind?
Well, I don't, I think the problem is people are seeing this young lady as a victim, and I know you guys are, and you feel for them, but men get younger women because they are less damaged and less bruised, and they have less baggage, and they have all of these less, because if I got with you when you was 19 and I put you on a plane and we fly to Florida or go to Disneyland or Disney World or something, those are going to be first experiences for you. Those type of things, they make a man feel awesome for you to have your first experience with us. And so I don't want to talk bad about her, like as far as her being promiscuous or anything like that. But just like the young beautiful lady on the panel just said, that I mean, if you're a harlot, you're a harlot. Like, we got to start calling these tramps out.
Okay,
I don't understand. I don't understand this.
Are you saying that Cassie is a harlot?
Yeah, I am. Yes, I am. 100%. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Miss.
But wait, I said if you come up here with the foolishness, we was gonna do the dance. So you calling her at the 19 when she got with him a harlot, but you have no vitriol for the pimp?
No, not at all.
And then wait, and you just a minute ago, wait now.
I was about to explain to you why I did.
I want to throw this into. I want y'all to think about this. But just a minute ago, you advocated for older men getting with younger women. So I'm trying to have you make sense of it all. You called her a harlot.
Do you want me to speak? You let me know when you want me to speak.
I will. You called her a harlot, but nothing for P. Diddy. But then on one side of your mouth, you're advocating that, oh yeah, that's why older men want to get with younger women. But she's a harlot, and what is he? Well, he's doing a good thing? Now you can speak.
He is a rich and powerful man. What all through time have rich and powerful men done and did and do? They collect women like things. I don't think you women don't understand that you guys are nothing but beautiful objects to us. You are a beautiful object that we have to obtain. You're nothing more than that. We're going to take care of you. We're going to feed you. We're going to dress you. We're going to put you in all of the nicest things if you do the things that we require and need. And I think you guys think that you're more than that to men, and then you're more than that to a rich man. That's just plain, that's outright silly.
I wonder if Lauren Sanchez would have that same story about Jeff Bezos. I'm wondering. You know,
are you talking about the lady that he's dating right now? Hold on. So let's look at Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos is older than her, right? We all know that. This lady accolades go out the ass. Like, she has been president and of all of these companies and TV shows and all of that shit.
No,
this is not no.
She was a news anchor in Los Angeles, and she cheated on her husband while he was cheating on his wife, and they ended up together. Yes.
Look up her background, Miss D.
I'm sure she didn't have as many accolades as his wife.
Okay,
His
but hold
wife,
on. Let me say something,
his
Black
wife.
America. They
Okay, go ahead.
so did you know that Jeff Bezos and the woman that he's actually with, they swapped mates. Like they all were best friends.
Yes.
Yeah, and so we can't even get into the minutia of those weirdos and the weird shit that rich people do. That's what I'm saying. Like weird rich people. Have we ever seen Bill Gates dressed up looking decent? Like he
Okay, now
always looks like a homeless.
you going
No,
all over
I'm
the
just
place.
saying he looks homeless every time you see him.
All right, but what does that got to do with the price of tea in China? And Deanna says, how is she a harlot if she was with Diddy for 13 years and then her husband?
I don't know if you guys ever been around the music industry, but okay, so like Diddy
You
was
said she was
dating.
a harlot.
Hold on. So the City Girls, JT Money and all of them, right? Now she claims that she's with Diddy. Diddy say that they not together. But we all can see that she's a harlot, right? Even though she says that she's with Diddy, it is the same thing, Miss D.
He has said
Just
that
be
they are together. He has said that they are together. He has said that
right,
a copious amount of times.
right. But when you have that much money, your woman is not the love of your life. You once again, you're an object.
Okay,
Hey Donovan, you want to use my car?
Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Y'all know how they have the gong show and on the Apollo they pull you off. That's what's about to happen with you because now you're all over the place with this argumentation that you have. You said everything but talk. You know, you call Cassie a harlot, but you haven't proved how she's a harlot. And then you talk about rich men, you know, and then the women we want y'all to do what we want to do. And you're like, dude, this sounds. Do you understand? Now I see facts, not feelings. He's saying free Black America and protect this man and all this other stuff. But do you actually hear how you sound, my brother? You are like on one hand you call her a harlot. Wait. Because when you cut me off, you don't get to hear what I'm saying. On one hand, you call this woman a harlot, but then you basically talk about how wealthy men paying for women. So why are you more mad at Cassie and accusing her of being a harlot, but you have nothing for this man who, in your words, purchased her low key and mistreated her? Even if she was a harlot, I don't think most harlots sign up to be treated that way. So what are you talking about?
Really, you don't? What did they do to adulterous women in the Bible?
Brother, this is 2023 and fall. We know that
Okay,
Bible has been written by 400 people.
So all right, so let me explain to you what happens in 2023 since I'm in the land of loose women here in Vegas. If a woman has been caught selling herself on the strip, she can no longer pass over Las Vegas Boulevard or they lock her up. Like this stuff is real out here, Miss D.
You complaining because this has nothing to do with Cassie. Cassie was not on nobody boulevard. She went and signed a contract to do music and ended up in a relationship with a pariah, a predator, somebody who did not treat her right. But again, Black America,
Miss D.
About me? Wait.
Miss D, this is how young women are nowadays.
Wait a minute. Listen, I was young once. Hey, this ain't changed. The only thing that's
you was young 100 years ago.
And so was your mama. But listen, wait a minute. Now.
My mama older than you.
Wait a minute.
She way older than you.
Black
America, you my age.
Black America. We got social media now, and there's access. There's more access, and everything is out in the open. But nothing has changed. It's all the same. Everything is all the same, so it's nothing different or anything like that. But you got a whole lot of arguments going on how Bill Gates was dressing and all kind of stuff. You ain't made one linear argument yet.
I just say Denzel Washington is a very wealthy man. Okay, very wealthy, and he don't treat his woman like she's a piece of property.
Actually, I helped them several times. I was a bellman for 15 years at the Bellagio, okay? Here in Las Vegas. A bellman for 15 years at the Bellagio. A VIP bellman. So I have helped any and everybody you want to think about. And Denzel is one of the nicest people you want to ever meet. I ain't even gonna lie, he's cool as a fan. But just because he does it doesn't mean somebody else doesn't come in
But
and
does
beat
it
their
make
wife.
it right? Does it make
Yes,
it
it
right?
does.
No,
It have you ever heard of the term might makes right? Have you ever heard that term?
no.
Have you ever heard it, Donovan?
Wait, say it again. I'm in the chat.
Might makes right.
Yes, absolutely. Mhm.
It is a term for a reason. Have you ever heard of history? History is the story of the person that wins. It is his story. It absolutely makes it right. It absolutely makes it right. Just because we don't agree with it doesn't mean that it's not right. I don't like, let's say, Mormons all the way, but it don't make what they're doing not right. I'm you, Miss D. I like I said, the problem is men and women think totally different, and you guys are never going to understand the way men think. That's the short stick of it.
You know what though? I know men who do not think that way. I do. I know a lot of men. Like, in fact, most men I know do not think the way you think and do not speak the way you speak. So I don't want to put that on, most men. I think that's probably some men, because I know there's a lot of men who could look at this for what we know logically and say, well, yeah, she engaged in a relationship when she was of legal age, but I don't think that she deserved what was exacted upon her from what she is alleging for the time that her and Diddy was together. And I don't think that makes her a harlot. You know what I'm saying? So that,
Let me ask you one question. Let me ask you one question. You and Corliss, both of you ladies we all the same age. If one of your boyfriends, when we were younger, wanted to run a train on you with him and your friends, would it be going down that way?
Hell, fuck, and no.
Miss D, what's your answer?
Now, why would you ask me something so silly? You know,
Because
damn well.
Okay.
Because one thing I don't like, and y'all know by now, I don't like people to ask me a question that I cannot give context to. I'm speaking for me. I would not ever let anybody do that to me. I don't know what, but then again, like I said, I'm a lot older than Cassie. I'm Diddy's age, right? So I'm not sure what all that entailed with her having that done to her. It doesn't sound like she wanted that done. In fact, she said she didn't want that done, but he made her find these guys and things like that. So her situation is different from mine for whatever reason. Now, I don't know. Maybe she was coerced to do it, but if you're asking me, no.
See, you went all around the world with a simple no, because a woman who is of right mind and not a harlot would tell him, no, I don't care how much money you have. You're not gonna have 5 dudes or 3 dudes or 4 dudes running up on me.
Right. Okay, but you know what? You can't speak for Cassie, but also, again, Cassie's 19. I don't even know how old she was when that happened, but you talk about the men got all this money, and I'm assuming that means y'all a little bit smarter. Why would a man want to get with a woman who ain't in her right mind unless he was waiting to abuse her? So again, if per your assessment that Cassie was a harlot, she wasn't in her right mind, then wouldn't that make Diddy guilty?
No, it'll make him using his property. We go back to the thing. She's a thing. She's an object to him.
Black America.
Wow.
I gotta stick to my word. I love you. See you on the next live. I had to do it. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't really like doing that. I'm gonna put the link back in here. We're gonna be up here for just another 10 minutes. I love you though, Black America, but
I just have to say this, because when you can reference a woman as property, you should never. I know good and well you ain't got no problem with slavery.
I wouldn't doubt it. And thank you, your average logical thinker, for the donation. Yeah, I mean, that was just a lot for me. So
They threw me all the way for a loop. Like, what?
But yeah, Black America got 16 children. I'm sure a lot of those are daughters. But yet, and then, you know, I'd even cringe to even know if he would think that his daughter would be property to some man. I mean, at some point in time, you know, we have to have decent conversations. And as a woman, and Corliss being a woman, I just could not, and I have a lot of women followers, allow that conversation to continue about talk about women or property. I just couldn't do it. Sorry.
I'm gonna say this. So I've had some conversations with D about a situation with one of my kids, and it's my daughter. And I literally had to go and save her from a situation that she was in with my grandbaby. But the Negro had the audacity to tell me her mama, oh, that's my bitch. I could beat her ass if I want to. Baby, I don't even have no pearls. But like I had to tell the attorney, y'all will fuck around and be trying to find them if I ever lay eyes on them. Because to me, that is crazy for any person, especially a dude, to feel like he can say that to somebody's mother. Like, she's a piece of property. You didn't have her. I had her. And at the end of the day, grown or not, when your kids are in any form of danger, that's our job to protect them, period. Right, wrong, or indifferent. So no, I don't see somebody's kid, Cassie, anybody's daughter, sex trafficking, no matter what they out here doing, being nobody's damn property. They're a person still at the end of the day, no matter what bad choices they've made. Like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Girl.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, I know a lot of men, and I don't know if too many of them who think like that. You know, we in 2023 calling women property because you got a little money. To me, that also goes in the same vein of, well, if I took you out to dinner, I should be able to get what's between your legs. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that is, I don't know, maybe I'm just outdated. I don't know. Maybe I'm not with the times, but I think that's very barbaric to think that you have ownership over somebody's prized possession because you may have spent a little money on them. You know, taking them out on a date, or and this is why, and I know a lot of people have a problem with it. Why I have a problem with older men pursuing younger women. And I say younger women, I do mean women in their 20s and teens, or, you know, upper teens. And I have a problem with that because it's like, whatever are you doing with that young girl, other than perhaps, you know, using her or whatever the case is. I have a huge problem with that. I do sometimes raise my eyebrows at men who think it's cool to get with a younger woman who has not formalized her own thought process. Because it does say, you know, I want somebody, and I hear that argument, oh, somebody who ain't gonna buck the system and all this, I do everything I say do. Is like, well, I mean, I can't tell you what type of woman to be with, but I surely wouldn't want my 19-year-old, 20-year-old dating some older guy, you know. And I would expect for, if I had a younger daughter and she brought some older man home, I expect for her father and myself to get in his ass. What do you want with my younger daughter? What do you have in common with my younger daughter? I don't have nothing. So what do you want to do? What do you want with my young daughter? And a lot of times and I know goddamn well, most of these men run around the internet talking all that stuff. Oh, I want somebody who's impressionable, somebody I can mold. I guarantee you $1 to a damn donut, you ain't gonna tell her daddy that. Because her daddy gonna put a foot knee deep in your ass. You go to his house talking about, I want somebody I can mold and be impressed upon. He gonna be like, if you don't get out of here, I got something in the back room for you that'll get you up out of here.
Right, but let me add to this as a man on the panel. Unfortunately, with 70% of our households being led by single mothers, the fathers aren't there anymore. So there is no covering of these young girls that a father would say those things. You know, we're talking from the aspect of when we were coming up. Unfortunately, 2 generations has passed now to where these women have no covering. And you will see more experienced men swoop in. And unfortunately, I mean, I know people hate to see this. I know we like to stay in our delusion as a people, as Black people. We love to be delusional. 70% of us ain't making it, you know, and we're desperate. And we are basically in a position, and you guys know I talk a lot of politics, but it's the point of, we are a permanent underclass now, okay? Demetrius traveled, I've traveled, Corliss has traveled, a lot of people have traveled. And you go to these third world countries, if you put us up against any other third world country as a group of people here in the United States, Black people are no different. We are living day to day, month to month. Right now, they're putting it right in our face. They're evicting us at an alarming rate. Homelessness, all of these issues that are happening. The covering for our young people is not there anymore. And it's more likely than not, and I've seen it here in my neighborhood and where I'm from, a mother will not say one word when her young daughter comes in with a significantly older man. Now, significant is whatever relative to you guys. But if I had a daughter and she came in to me with a man that's more than 5 years older than she is, I got a problem with that. But unfortunately, I have sons. But I'm telling you, that's the world we live in today. Not how it was back in the day and all this other stuff. But we need to get back to the way it used to be. We need to start telling these young people what's right and what's wrong and what the standard is. But ladies, unfortunately, 70% of our community, we're not making it. We are desperate. That's why you see a bunch of us. It's just Sodom and Gomorrah out here. People are just getting it the way they can get it. OnlyFans, this, that, this. That's the reality we live in. Thank you, Democrats.
Hey, have you guys seen the one girl? She just did my daughter is the one that sent it to me. She's a ballet teacher. And literally, yeah, like that shook me. That's how I learned about the girl Red. I ain't even gonna call her sexy Red. She trifling Red.
Hepatitis Red. With all those tattoos, that woman's gonna have a serious medical problem when she gets older.
So I just kept saying, I was like, what is this song she talking? My auntie said, girl, you ain't heard the song? And I'm like, no. When she sent me that, I couldn't get past the first nothing. To see, it is very discouraging, to say the least, to see these girls out here. And I done seen them with a mama bent over, shaking it, everything out, and they mama's patting their ass, entertaining the foolishness. Like, when do you? My kids know, and I got 7 of them, 4 girls and 3 boys. You ain't gonna catch me smoking with them because I don't smoke no more. You ain't gonna catch me partying with them. They already know, like, we just ain't. Because my mama is not with the business.
Right. But Corliss, would you agree? A lot of the older women are competing with the younger women.
Oh,
and unfortunately, these older women, being single and by themselves for whatever reasons, are sabotaging the younger women so that these younger women can be as miserable as the older women are right now. Would you agree with that or disagree?
No, well, I ain't gonna say all of us older women miserable, but I will say the one that's just out here hanging with kids, dating little boys, I'm confused because I'm 50 years old. Even when I was in my 40s, it ain't nothing I could do with a 20-year-old. And it ain't that they ain't hit on me because they have. But it ain't what I want with you and you my kids' age. What I look like bringing you home with me. And I got it just don't even make sense. It doesn't make sense. Donovan, I didn't know that they still had Hood Day. I didn't know Hood Day.
I don't even know what that is. Remember, I come from a military environment, so I don't even know what that is.
So, I know you've seen gang members. Okay. I didn't know adults are doing Hood Day. Like, I don't understand what's going on in today's society where these ain't parents. That's what I can say. These are not parents. Maybe because some of them were not taught. Um, they're more friends, and that's what the girl was saying in the video, that these children, preschool, kindergarten, have no home training, right? And then when you try to correct them, even at an early age, oh, I ain't gotta listen to you. You ain't my mama. Then when the mama come in, oh, well, she said she didn't want to listen to. Then you need to keep them at home.
My daughter is here. She's. Do you have anything to add? Make sure they come next to my mic.
All right, wait. Let me get your dad on speed dial so you can hear this. Go ahead.
I did. Ooh, don't get him. I did, but the context passed a long time ago. What I was going to say was regarding Cassie and Black America when he was up on here talking about nobody in their right mind would let someone do that to them. Whoop, whoop, whoop. But as somebody who's closer to 19 than y'all are currently, I remember being 19 and having a false perception of what love is. And that came from, to Donovan's point that I disagree with, that came from seeing how my father was in relationships and thinking that you have to endure that. And, there was also another factor of, a whole other thing. But a 19-year-old doesn't have the self-awareness and the self-respect to process what a relationship truly should be because they've never been through one. So for Cassie at 19 to get into a relationship with a 30-something-year-old man, think of all the stuff that she's going through, probably accepting because she thinks that that's what love is and that's what she has to endure to get the true treasure of Diddy's love. It makes sense why it took her so long to leave at an adult.
Yeah, I mean, and plus Diddy I think he had already 2 baby mamas at that point, so he had already been in relationships. So yeah, some of y'all are saying that I look distraught. I'm not distraught. I'm concerned.
Right.
I'm very concerned because I know that us having these conversations is not rare, but I'm concerned that there are some people who possess that ideology. Now, as I said, I know a lot of good Black men who do not think that way. There's a lot of good Black men on here who do not think that way. But it's concerning because there's some who do think that way, that a woman is property. And it's not surprising coming from Black America, but I'm surprised to see some men co-sign that. You know what I'm saying? That women are property, and other than that, she has no value, no merit. When I hear a man say that about a woman, I just want to do my business on you, and then put you back in the corner. And then when it's time for me to need you, whether you need to cook for me or whatever, then that's all you good for. And like I said, if I had a daughter that young and a man came to me or she told me that, I would do my best to make sure that he never came back. And, and like they said, Donovan, there's, a lot of women who have mothers and they competing and all that other stuff. And I would say not you, but just men in general. If you, and that kind of makes it predatory. It almost makes it predatory that that woman has that going on, or maybe she doesn't have a great home life and you somehow think that's a suitable woman to be with. Well, off the rip, she gonna have problems. You also know that she doesn't have the maturity or the wherewithal to even really, engage with you with anything else other than physical, right? And when I hear, and like I said, it depends on which age you're at. When I hear an older man wanting to be with a younger woman, I see in my mind, I see that younger woman being taken advantage of. Listen, as I said, especially with Black women, most of us when we were young girls have had some old cooter try to hit on us, say inappropriate stuff to us. So I cannot imagine even being in a relationship with one of those dudes who said, oh yeah, she got something on her. She gonna look, she gonna be nice when she older and all that, all that. We've heard it all. So, I don't know. I just like, we got, when I say we, I mean, just in general, we got all this vitriol for Cassie, but no smoke for Diddy, who was predatory in what he was doing. Because as I said, that wasn't the nature of their relationship when they got together. But he saw a tender young thing who was impressionable, and he took it for something else. But here we are rationalizing these inappropriate relationships. Was she an adult? Yeah. Was the nature of their relationship in any? I would say most older men who are significantly older than a younger woman, is it inappropriate? Yeah, I think so. Because as I said, what do you have in common with her? And I'm gonna say this again: if you would not dare go to her mama and daddy and say, I'm trying to be with your daughter, and you couldn't answer why, then you might need to rethink the age bracket of women you dating.
I'll agree. I will agree with that. But like I said, I know people get upset, and I just want to say this. This is another problem we have in our community. When we hear things that might not agree with our value system and what we believe in, we don't, I'm not going to watch the show anymore. I'm not going to do this. And we're not begging people to watch whatever. These are hard conversations that we have to have. And no matter how far you run from it, the problem is still going to be here. We can, unfortunately, we should disagree cordially to disagree. Some things are outrageous, and I agree with that. I don't begrudge Demetra for clicking off, because she did give the warning at the beginning of the show. But again, these are hard conversations we have to have in our community. I mean, like it or not, it is what it is. You guys hear me say all the time, delusion. I keep saying delusion, delusion, delusion. You are delusional when you think because you can buy your kids $300 Jordans and you're on public assistance that everything is okay, and you need a voucher from the city to go stay in a hotel for 30 days. We are in the fourth quarter. It is fourth down, fourth quarter, 5 seconds left. We're at the 3-yard line. We have to score a touchdown plus a 2-point conversion to tie so that we can go on. If not, it's a wrap, people. It's a wrap. And black men and black women, all of this, whatever, for those of us that are on this show and having a conversation as men and women, we get it, okay? We understand what's going on. We have, and we know we need each other at the end of the day. We know that, okay? And that's what we have to start doing. Some of you guys have your own podcasts on the show that I found out. And again, we have to support each other in how we do that and have these real conversations, because I'm tired of seeing our people being delusional while we're being undermined and made a permanent underclass. I'm just sick and tired of it. It's crap. And we got to do better. I'm sorry, people. We have to do better. We can't depend on the Democratic Party. We can't depend on the white supremacy and the white man. We need to depend on each other. And the woman is the core of the community. The man is the leader in general, traditional. Are there some women that are better leaders? Yes, there are. And that's what we have to get back to.
Yeah, I agree. The woman is the core. The man is the leader. But we got to knock off this nonsense. We honestly do. Because like I said, we as black people, and that it's not an original thought of mine, we too much in our lower regions. We too much in our carnal desires. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I don't know. It's just a lot of bewilderment for me. I should not be surprised for as long as I've been doing this. Hey, JBWR, how you doing? Yeah, exactly. What do they have in common? The skins, and you know what that means, right? And so I just hate to hear men lie to kick it, because you have nothing in common with a woman that's younger, that much younger than you anyway. What does she know? Like I said, one of my favorite songs is Hey 19 by Steely Dan. He says, you don't even know who Aretha Franklin is. What are we going to talk about? He says, we have nothing in common, but I don't know. This is very sad to me. It's very sad. And like I said, Black America, I'm not surprised, but I'm surprised by some men who think that it's all right. Y'all all the time run around talking about women should hold each other accountable, and we don't do that. But y'all don't hold each other accountable, because I think there should have been 50-11 men. And I'm not saying maybe some of y'all just didn't want to type it or whatever, so I'm not charging to y'all. I think it should have been 50-11 men in there, and I did see some men, so I don't want to be remiss in that. Say, hey, you wrong, y'all, brother. You need to get yourself together. We, especially as black people, we don't never want to refer to our women as property. Hell, we was all property. Our people was at one point in time. And if you look into the prison system, they property. So why would we ever want to liken a woman, especially our woman, to property? And I would say that's the type of man that don't need to be with a woman, because you don't understand a woman and you don't understand what it means to be with a woman. You would deduce when I hear a man call a woman property, I also see a dog chain around her neck. That's what I see. Sit, be quiet, or whatever. And you thinking of a woman like that, and let me shut up because I'm about to get heated because I don't want to call people names, but it is a little bit on the perverse side, just a little bit. For a grown ass man to be talking about it's all right to be with a young woman, then liken her to a harlot and property. I like. This is silly season. It honestly is. Mr. Cassie says, just like when Vanessa dated that 30-year-old dude on the Cosby Show, it ain't look right, Yeah, but like I said, most of these dudes that's bumping their gums about being with somebody's young daughter, they ain't gonna tell that to her daddy face. I guarantee you he won't. Because if her daddy is worth his salt, he gonna run up on you, and you know better. You're not gonna do it. Yeah, so in a lot of cases, yeah, men they get with a little girl. To me, she's a little girl. Who she got a sad home life and her mama's silly too. Yeah, y'all know y'all can get away with that. But if her daddy was there in his right mind, y'all think twice. You wouldn't dare do it. You move on. So let's see here. Nora, she says it's hard to hear, but this is the best channel on YouTube. Oh, I'm sorry that it's hard to hear. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, Donovan has a podcast, and I put his podcast, his channel in the link of the description box. So you guys please join Donovan's channel. He does do a lot of great work talking about politics and things like that. So please do. Let's get out of here. And Brother Will says to Donovan, or just burn the field down is what they're trying to do. Yes, protect our women. Yeah, absolutely. And the politics, honestly, as Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, that it's what concern of it is it of ours? The Democrats, the Republicans, they're not going to save us. We need to save ourselves. But we most definitely need to figure out as Black men and women how we need to get along, stop finger pointing and harming each other. Because Cassie is not rare. Cassie is just the one that's getting the most notoriety. But there's a lot of young women and women in her position that have been used and abused by some older man for whatever reason. So she's not rare. She's not rare. She's just got her moment in the sun, if you will. But there's probably women, a couple of blocks, if not next door to us, that's going through the same thing, and nobody probably will ever know. It's inappropriate. And I get mad if you want to, but that's my opinion. I think it's inappropriate. It just is. A lady, he says, Donovan, most of your correction is for Black women, not for the so-called leaders. No accountability. Accountability for men. You look weak. And thank you for the donation as well. Did you respond?
Yeah, I respond a little bit. Like I said, of course, a lady, it's apparent to me that you are a pro-woman. You're a pro-woman person. There's nothing wrong with that. And obviously, I'm a pro-man. So through your glasses, everything that I say is in regards to correcting women. And just like you just did your thing, everything you see is correcting men. See, so that's one of the problems we have in our community. We're too busy correcting. But you know what? There's nothing wrong with how we correct each other because somebody's got to do it. So you continue to correct the men and say the truth on the men, and I will continue to say the truth on the women as I see it. There's nothing wrong with how that is, as long as it's the truth, right? We're good.
Brother Tommy says, I remember one of my father's older friends asking my father for my baby sister. The difference had to be at least 40 years. I think the sentiment was how he would take care of her. That was about 20 years ago, ripped to all three of them. So you said the guy was 40 years older and he wanted to be with your baby sister. Yeah. I mean, like I said, maybe the times, I don't know, it was different. I just know that no man that old could come to my daddy about my sister or I, especially when we were younger, and not, perhaps have a story to tell himself. You know what I mean? Because
there's only a 4 or 5 year difference between me and your sister, and your dad told me you're not even fit to walk amongst men.
Wow. No, but for real. I mean, I would just, like I said, taking care of her is one thing financially, but how you gonna take care of my baby physically, emotionally, and all of that stuff? Yeah, money. Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of dudes with money that can afford to take care of young women. But what about the rest of her? And I'm not saying it wasn't the case for you, Brother Samuel. in your situation. But yeah, 40 years difference. I'd be like, man, if you don't get your old geriatric Ben Gay Geritol self up out of here. I don't think so. David, you said I was disgusted with Black America. I think it meant boy talking about some damn property. Yeah, that it's bananas to say the least.
AD, I remember, and this just came back to me. So I was like 13 years old, and I had went to go visit my family in St. Louis, like over the summer. And it was an older guy from the church that my aunt and them had grew up with. Girl trying to holler. I didn't even know my uncle was on the other line listening. Baby, they pulled up to his door. Okay? He's almost 40 years old. And my uncle pulled up. It was a couple of them. And he was like, he ran down the whole conversation. He was like, she's a damn kid. Like, what are you doing? So accountability, absolutely. Everybody, you need to hold these people accountable. Like, hold their feet to the fire, because it's sad. Like, it's beyond crazy, for real. The stuff that's going on in this world today.
Yeah, and Katrina, how you doing? Says, I wonder what treatment Young Miami is getting. So that's one of his current girlfriends. It's hard to say. She hasn't said he's treating her bad, so we just have to go with that. Al says Keisha on the Shy was too fast. So talking about a character on the Shy. Yeah, and even still, she didn't deserve what happened to her. And if you guys haven't seen the Shy, it's actually a really good coming of age story. Really good. Maxwell said, but it wasn't abuse when the money, glitz, and glam was involved. Once that's gone, now I'm traumatized and airing out your dirty laundry. Well, it wasn't even that the money was gone. She left Diddy, and he's always, even to this day, as of recently, wanted to be back with her. He wanted Cassie back. So it's not that the money and the glitz and glam was gone. She left from that. Now, mind you, that was 2018. She's married and everything, and her and her husband aren't broke. It sounds like she's very happy. But you also got to take into account, as I said, Diddy kept on, messing with her, calling her, subbing her husband and stuff like that, long after they weren't together. So I think y'all kind of got it messed up, thinking that, because of this glitz and glam, and now she's, wanting him to be held accountable. And again, there's a lot of witnesses, but I'm not going to keep repeating myself. And I'm not even trying to change y'all mind at this point, because I don't know Diddy or I don't know Cassie. But I just think at some point in time, we got to start being logical and stop being emotional and thinking that every time a woman raises an issue that she's gold digging, she's got an agenda, or something like that. I mean, P. Diddy has been a lot of evidence and I guess stories out there about him being an ill human being. So, y'all do with it what you will. I'm gonna skip down here because I just realized what time it is. Brother Will, you say, I understand the natural order has been scattered to cannot see clearly. Unfortunately, right?
Yes.
And Brina says, my granddaddy married my 12-year-old grandmother when he was in his 30s. So yeah, you guys might remember the history of the United States. Up until the early 1900s, it was legal for a grown man to marry a 12-year-old. That was not illegal, but then the laws changed because it was like, okay. And that's where they made the age of majority 18 in most states because they felt like a 12-year-old really didn't have the wherewithal to even want to be with a 40-something-year-old man. And, he's, ravaging her body and, all that other stuff. But back then, yeah, it was normal. But that has been outlawed, and thank God. You know what I mean? But yeah, back then, that was some kind of, I don't know. Deanna says people are not property, period. That is the language abuse is bred from. Yeah, I agree with that. It's just it made my skin crawl. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Diddy, I think, is on his way to being canceled. I think that's what's going on a lot. Because how could you really even hang out with Diddy knowing hell, Diddy should have been canceled a long time ago when all those people said that he robbed them and all that other stuff. But it takes Cassie, and I liken this to the 5 Heartbeats. Most of y'all have seen the 5 Heartbeats, and I saw somebody else also draw the correlation saying that Diddy was Big Red, but I actually think that Cassie is Bird. Cassie is Bird. She knew all the bodies were buried, and she had the nail in the coffin for Big Red Diddy. And she's the one that really just got the world to see, okay, this dude is really not a good dude. So I think it's a very interesting dynamic. All right.
And let me add this. Remember, you got Bad Boy records, you got Ruthless records, you got Death Row records, you got all these LaFace records, whatever. Notice in the 90s, these things were allowed to give the perception that Black people owned these labels, which they did. They're subsidy labels. But who was raking in all the money? Interscope, Warner Brothers, and all this. Remember when Ice-T had his thing, Cop Killer, that was a big thing and whatever the deal is. And so what they do is they get these people to prop up and do the dirty work for them. But guess who is always behind the scenes? The white supremacists. Always.
Absolutely. It's a lot going on. And you guys should watch the two killings of Sam Cooke on Netflix. Is an awesome documentary, and it's very telling as to what actually goes on in the record industry. But you're right, a lot of them are just pawns of of something bigger. And Diddy, I think he's probably gotten close to that.
Right, he's just the face. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think he's gotten closer to than just being a face. He's actually has made some moves. And unfortunately, he just became the oppressor. And mostly to his own people. So yeah, he's got to pay for it. We all got to pay for the things that we do to people. If y'all don't ever forget and remember anything else that we've talked about today, remember what you do got to come back to you, which is why you need to make sure you do good by people so that you don't have to be in this situation. I saw before I came on here, TMZ posted a picture of Diddy and he looked distraught. He did. Y'all go on there, y'all see the pictures. He looked distraught, like his whole world is just crashing in. And when he had his hands like this on one of the pictures, like, damn, I paid her a bag. But, as Warren Buffett said, which is one of my favorite quotes, he says, a person or a corporation can afford to lose money. They can afford to lose lots of money, but they cannot afford to lose any reputation, not 1 ounce. Because you can get money, even if you lose it all, you can get money again. But your reputation, once you lose it, it never goes back to where it was. So I think that's unfortunately what he's facing.
You know what? Before we go, I just want to add this. I've been in the chats and stuff, and let me tell you guys something. You guys are awesome in the chats. A lady, she brings her A game all the time, and she brings me to task, and she's going to say what she's got to do, and I love it. But a lot of you guys in the chats, come on up and hit that link sometimes. And, you don't have to show your face like Demetra says. And so we can kind of, chat it up there. I mean, it's great to be in the chat and get your stuff going on. But you guys are more than welcome to come up and voice your opinion. We'd love to hear from you guys from time to time.
Yes, indeed. And so, so a lot of y'all saying that y'all seen the movie Two Killings of Sam Cooke. It's on Netflix. Awesome. Facts Not Feelings. It says, remember what you do will come back to you, Demetra. Yeah, and that's not even my saying, but I live by that. Like I said, I wake up and say I'm not going to do anybody harm intentionally because I know that karma, she don't forget, and she's pretty accurate. So, all right. Oh, so wait a minute, lady. Now you saying she got $1 billion? I don't know about that. I think Diddy is worth $1 billion. So if she did, that may explain why he was like, I don't know. It remains to be seen. They'll probably never tell us. But in the meantime, I love and appreciate every last one of y'all. Thank y'all for being here for almost 3 hours. I still got work to do. Oh my God. But I'm going to get it done nevertheless. As always, we have ways to help and donate to the channel. And for those of you guys who've already done that, thank you so much. For those of you guys who have become a member, subscribe, like, and everything that you do. Cordless, thank you for coming up here, and everyone else that came up here. Also, you guys remember to head on over to the African Diaspora News.org and sign up for the app, because the more of y'all that we have over there, the less time we have to spend on other people's platforms. You guys know that our speech is limited, unfortunately, on other people's platforms, and we complain about that a lot. Oh, well, I should be able to say what I want to say. You can, for the most part, I would say, if you go over to an platform that we own, the African Diaspora News.org. What are y'all waiting for? Huh? So anyway, again, thank you, Celeste. Y'all all made it a good live. We love and appreciate every last one of you. Facts Not Feelings, thank you. Mobile Works, Maxima, Mike, Easy E, David, a lady, Al, everybody. Who else is on here? JBWR, Brother Will, Norris, Michael. Oh my gosh, I could go on and on. Brina, Beverly. So everybody, love and appreciate y'all. See y'all on Tuesday. Peace.